Welcome to Fantasy Audiobook, Comprehension Heaven-Defying, Rebirth Sasuke, Revitalization. Chapter 81, Sage Art, Lightning Style Kirin. This is the thunder and lightning unicorn formed by Sasuke using the celestial body Tao pattern and condensing massive amounts of natural power. Its power is more than 10 times and hundreds of times stronger than the original version. The power of a single blow can cause the earth to crack and mountains to collapse. This is a terrifying trick that can change the terrain. The thunder and lightning condor felt it for a moment, and his heart couldn't help but be frightened and trembled. But the pride in his heart kept him from surrendering. Sasuke frowned. The golden unicorn moved, it bit the condor, and the golden thunder instantly enveloped it. The terrifying power of thunder seems to be pouring into the body in the next moment. The thunder condor knew that if he didn't surrender, Sasuke would really kill him. I am willing to surrender. The crisis of imminent death finally made him bow his head. Sasuke then smiled. Soon, the golden lines on his body disappeared. The originally dark clouded sky gradually became clear again. Master, what is your name? At this time, the thunder condor asked respectfully. With Sasuke's terrifying strength, being his summoning beast wouldn't be an insult. It comforted secretly in its heart. Uchiha Sasuke. Sasuke patted its back and said, "By the way, how did you master the two nature transformations of wind and thunder?" Sasuke was a little curious. To master two nature transformations at the same time, even a ninja usually requires a jonin to do it. Not to mention, my understanding of nature transformation is extremely high. It is really surprising that a wild giant beast can do this. Master, for the past hundreds of years, I have been flying in the sky, and from time to time I can see the battles between ninjas, practicing. In addition, I am in the Wind and Thunder Canyon. In nature, there are occasional changes in these two forces. It was only after many years of exploration that I gradually understood and mastered these two powers. The Thunder Condor spoke. Sasuke nodded slightly. It seems that this condor has good talent. Then, he took out a scroll. Don't resist. Sign a summoning contract with me. Yes, master. Soon, a man and a beast cut open the wound, and the blood quickly merged into a spell. Sasuke could immediately feel that he could summon the eagle through chakra at any time. By the way, you don't have a name yet. Sasuke suddenly spoke. Yes, master, other ninjas have always called me the Thunder Eagle, the Wind Eagle, etc. Now that you have become my summoning beast, I will call you Thunder Spirit from now on. Thunder Spirit, the spirit of thunder and lightning. It gave a sharp chirp and nodded to indicate understanding. Well, Lei Ling, let's go. Sasuke ordered. Lei Ling immediately surged in speed and flew into the distance. Sasuke sat on Lei Ling's back, the wind howling. This speed is incredible. Lei Ling previously claimed that he had the fastest flying speed in the ninja world. I'm afraid it's not a lie. Much faster than Sasuke using his physical body to run with all his strength. At this speed, you can definitely reach anywhere in the ninja world within one day. Sasuke thought to himself, it will be convenient after conquering it, and you can quickly travel to various places in the ninja world. When the time comes, just leave the flying thunder god mark everywhere. It's not too convenient to be able to teleport anywhere in the ninja world. Lei Ling, how much do you know about Cloud Shinobi Village in the Land of Thunder? Do you know where the two-tailed beasts are in Cloud Shinobi Village? Sasuke asked. The master, 8 Tails of Cloud Shinobi Village, has been training in Cloud Thunder Canyon. As for her way, she moves around a lot, but I also know a few places she frequents. Why? Lei Ling replied respectfully. After it became Sasuke's summoning beast, it naturally sided with Sasuke. Let's go, take me to Uwe Matabi first. Yes. A dark underground stronghold. Several slightly illusory figures appeared. Everyone is here. Pain, the Tiandao with Rinnegan, spoke. The preparations are complete. It's time for you to start hunting the tailed beast. I'll send the information to you now. Pain formed a seal with his hands, and a large amount of information was transmitted to others through ninjutsu. It turns out that our target is Uwe. Hidan opened his eyes and said excitedly. Just in time, Kakuzu and I are at the Bounty Exchange Center near Cloud Shinobi Village. HMPH, Hidan, you are lucky for once. Kakuzu said with a cold snort. Oh, am I in a group with Brother Scorpion? Deidara, who had just joined the Akatsuki organization, spoke. Brother Scorpion, please give me some advice. Deidara turned to look at him. Well, Deidara, just don't hold me back. The Red Sand Scorpion said lukewarmly. Ah, you are too cold, Brother Scorpion. Deidara looked depressed. Everyone, has anything big happened in the ninja world recently? Pain asked. In order to prepare for the sealing of the tailed beast, he had not deliberately inquired for information for a long time. Big deal. Speaking of which, Itachi and I went to Konoha a while ago, and we almost ran into Jiraiya, and then Ninetales was taken away by him. Hoshigaki Kisame said suddenly. Well, don't worry about him for now. Ninetales is the last one in the order of sealing. You should complete your respective tasks first and seal the other tailed beasts. Pain nodded slightly and then said, Chief, there is another interesting thing. The traitor of the organization, Orochi, is dead. The scorpion in the corner suddenly spoke. Oh, it's really surprising that this difficult guy is dead. What a pity, I originally wanted to kill him. Deidara muttered. By the way, Brother Shie, who killed him? He asked suddenly. I don't know, Orochimaru died very secretly, but all his forces were taken over by Uchiha Sasuke. Sasuke, Itachi, if I remember correctly, he should be your brother. Kisame Kazaki was a little surprised. Did he kill Orochimaru? No, it shouldn't be possible. He is just a kid now. Kisame shook his head. Uchiha Sasuke, if he really killed Orochimaru, Itachi, you'll be in trouble. Deidara looked gloating. Uchiha Itachi frowned slightly. Staying in a place like Konoha village, Sasuke's strength cannot grow so fast. He spoke coldly. Well, anyway, pay attention to Uchiha Sasuke's movements. Pain spoke. Okay, let's do it. Hey, the mission is finally here. In a secluded forest, Hidan rubbed his neck. Let's go, it's time to find a sacrifice to offer to the evil god. I haven't killed Jinchuriki yet. Hidan raised the huge sickle in his hand, stuck out his tongue and licked it slightly. Hidan, be careful, fighting a tailed beast is different than before. Kakuzu said solemnly. Don't worry, with the blessing of Lord Evil God, I am immortal. Hidan shook the scythe in his hand. As they talked, the two quickly left the forest. The Land of Thunder. In an abandoned building. Hidan and Zhao Zhao looked at each other and intercepted a fleeing female ninja in front. She wears a Cloud Shinobi Village forehead protector and has long straight beige hair tied into a braid hanging down her waist. The beautiful face is unsmiling and arrogant, looking gentle and heroic at the same time. Well, there's no place to run. The corner of Hidan's mouth raised. As a Jinchuriki, you'd better be sealed by us. Backquote, Hidan, don't be too proud, you are the second tail after all, you will die if you are careless. Quote. Kakuzu reminded him. HMPH, I wish she could kill me. Hidan said carelessly with a look of disdain. I see, are you the Akatsuki organization? 2 by Wooden Golem quickly regained his composure and put a smile on his face. The two were slightly surprised. HMPH, I lured you here on purpose. By Wooden Golem had a sneer on his face and quickly formed seals with his hands. With a rumble and a violent explosion, the exit of the building collapsed. I see, using yourself as bait, do you want to catch us all in one go? Angle turned his head and stared at her coldly. Oh, the identities of hunter and prey have been reversed. This is so nerve-wracking, Kakuzu. Hidan scratched his head, seeming distressed. Suffer death, Akatsuki. 2 by Wooden Golem roared, and blue pattern chakra immediately appeared on the surface of her body. At the same time, her eyes turned white and sharp nails grew on her hands. The huge chakra airflow blew her hair to pieces. With a swish sound, she was like a flexible cat demon and quickly killed him. She's getting faster, Kakuzu, be careful. Better worry about yourself, Duan. The two quickly moved out of the way. By Wooden Golem opened his mouth, and 2 balls of light blue flames burst out from his mouth. Ninja method, rat suppression. Such a slow attack can't hit anyone. Hidan dodged and said with a mocking expression. Careful. Suddenly, everyone opened their eyes and shouted loudly. Boom! The fireball exploded violently, turning into countless blue flames and burning towards the two people. The Angle's speed was extremely fast, and he had noticed it early and quickly dodged the attack. Hidan was hit by flames and burned violently. Ah! He screamed, his face distorted, and big holes quickly appeared in his body under the flames. Humph, you know how powerful I am. By Wooden Golem smiles. Haha, I lied to you. Suddenly, Hidan stopped struggling and got up, his body quickly intact as before. But it really hurts me when your flames burn me. Kakuzu, you've had enough fun. The two looked at each other. One left and one right, quickly kill the Wooden Golem. As expected of Akatsuki, he is very strong, but he still has to show his true strength. By Wooden Golem secretly thought. Her body expanded rapidly, blue flames burned on her body, and she turned into a huge demon cat. Ah, completely transformed into a tailed beast. Kakuzu, things are going bad now. Hidan looked up at the second tail Matabi and murmured for. Boom, a huge fireball erupted from Erway's mouth. The violent explosion caused the entire building to collapse and turn into ruins. High in the sky, Sasuke was attracted by the sound of explosions. Lei Ling, let's go over and take a look. Okay, master. The thunder eagle under Sasuke flapped its wings and quickly flew over. Heat waves billowed among the collapsed ruins of the building. Kakuzu and Hidan quietly hid behind a huge rock. It's so hot. Can it stand such a high temperature? Hidan whispered. At this moment, the Akatsuki organization's battle uniform and black-red cloud robe on his body were all in tatters. He looked very embarrassed. So, Hidan ripped off his clothes. I told you a long time ago, don't underestimate the tailed beast. Kakuzu stuck his head out, carefully stared at Erway not far away and said. What are you afraid of? Could it still be killed by it? Hidan pouted. Suddenly, Erway's ears twitched and he stared over with keen eyes. Idiot, it's discovered, let's go. Before Kakuzu finished speaking, Erway jumped up suddenly. Its huge tail swept out, instantly sweeping away the rocks in front of them. Roar, Erway roared, and the huge cat claws came over. Angle gritted his teeth, his whole body quickly turned dark, and he punched him. Boom, his whole body was smashed away like a cannonball, and he fell heavily into the ruins behind, kicking up a lot of dust. Hey, Kakuzu, you're not going to die. Hidan shouted anxiously, and at this moment, the sharp claws of the second tail stabbed over. Poof, the sharp claws were like steel knives, instantly piercing his body. Hidan's mouth was bleeding, but his face showed a look of madness. Ah ha ha, it hurts, it really hurts, but I caught you. The giant scythe in his hand swung out and struck Erway's claws. A small amount of blood seeped out, and Erway's wound healed quickly. Idiot, it's not that easy to kill me. By the voice of Wooden Golem. With a slap of his huge claws, Hidan flew away and was blasted into the ruins. What a poor guy. With a roar, a large number of rocks fell, and the two climbed up from the ruins. At this time, Hidan was completely black and had a lot of white stripes on his body. His body was bleeding, and his legs quickly circled, drawing curse symbols on the ground. Haha, idiot, your death has come. Hidan stood in the circle, raising the spikes in his hand with a provocative look on his face. By Wooden Golem suddenly felt something bad, and she was about to take action. Hidan stabbed fiercely, and the weapon in his hand instantly pierced his thigh. At the same time, a huge wound appeared on the leg of the two-tailed demon cat. Severe pain caused Wooden Golem to roar. Hidan, stop playing around and kill her quickly. Kakuzu reminded from the side. Hidan's curse secret technique, the more you use it, the easier it is to reveal the truth. Once discovered, it will not be so easy to succeed. Haha, Lord Evil God, Jinchuriki blood tastes good, right? Now, I will dedicate this top sacrifice to you. Hidan raised his weapon and stabbed himself in the heart. Suddenly, a thunderbolt fell from the sky, instantly blowing Hidan away. Fortunately, I finally caught up. With a gust of wind, Lei Ling quickly flew over from a distance. Sasuke stood on the back of the condor and secretly breathed a sigh of relief. Just now, a bolt of thunder from Lei Ling blasted Hidan out of the curse circle. The worst outcome was avoided. Damn it, it hurts so much, it hurts me to death. Hidan slowly stood up with spikes on his chest. Damn bastard, it's all you who ruined Lord Evil God's ceremony. I'm going to kill you. Hidan's eyes widened angrily, and he looked at Sasuke with hatred in his eyes. Wait a minute, Hidan, this guy is not simple. ACFF. Kakuzu stretched out his hand to stop him. The giant blue eagle in front of him gave him a great sense of oppression. With such a powerful summoning beast, the person in front of me is definitely very strong. Boy, who are you? Angle looked at Sasuke with a confused look. According to the information provided by the Akatsuki organization, there seems to be no such young and powerful person in the Kingdom of Thunder. Sasuke ignored him and turned to look at her way. The second-tailed Matabi looked a little confused, and its body quickly shrank and transformed back into the wooden golem. That's weird, who are you? It doesn't seem like you're a ninja from Cloud Shinobi Village. By wooden golem frowned and asked. However, she could feel that the handsome guy in front of her seemed to be on her side. It doesn't matter who I am, let's kill these two members of the Akatsuki organization first. Sasuke smiled slightly and Taguchi said. By wooden golem was stunned. Sasuke's smile seemed to be full of some kind of contagion, and she couldn't help but feel good about him. Not by wooden golem, choose to trust the person in front of you. He looks so handsome, so he shouldn't be a bad person. She thought to herself that at first glance, Sasuke was obviously not as sinister as the other two. Kakuzu, it seems that the battle is inevitable. Thank you for stopping me, this guy is obviously a human. Hidan yelled at him. Well, get ready to fight. Kakuzu's voice was low, who are you? Sasuke turned to look at him, Sharingan appearing in his eyes. What, those eyes, are they Uchiha Itachi's younger brother? The two guessed Sasuke's identity. Asshole, I won't show mercy to you. Hidan quickly rushed over holding a giant scythe. Snort, Sasuke's eyes turned cold. A ball of dazzling blue and white thunder appeared in his hand. Hidan, get out of the way. Before Kakuzu finished speaking, Sasuke flashed past like a bolt of lightning. Poof, blood splattered. Hidan's head was cut off directly and fell to the ground. Damn the angle, you didn't remind me earlier. Hidan opened his eyes and cursed angrily. What, he's not dead yet. The two of them, wooden golem, were shocked. The scene in front of them was really incredible. Oh, the vitality is indeed as tenacious as a cockroach. Sasuke shook his head slightly. However, Hidan is no different from being dead. If you can't control your body, there is no point in living. Hidan, I told you to stay away. A hint of fear flashed in Kakuzu's green pupils. Sasuke's speed was so fast that he didn't even see it clearly. You two are the immortal duo organized by Akatsuki. It's a pity that you are going to die soon. Sasuke smiled contemptuously. Yeah, a cold voice suddenly sounded in Sasuke's ears. Kakuzu didn't know when he had touched his back. Boy, your heart is mine. He is ready to use the heart-stealing secret technique immediately. Black whisker-like tentacles surged out from all over his body, fiercely entangling Sasuke. As a wisp of white smoke rose, Sasuke in front of him turned into a piece of wood. Is this the secret technique of the earthly resentment you in Longyan village? It's really ugly. There was a hint of sarcasm on Sasuke's lips. At this moment, Kakuzu had a lot of black lines all over his body, his arms were limp, and he looked ferocious and terrifying. HMPH, it's enough if I can kill you. With a wave of his hand, his wrist and arm were separated, and his hand was like a sharp blade going straight to Sasuke's heart. In particular, he also used the Earth-style Earth Spear to strengthen his hands. One blow can penetrate the opponent's heart directly. However, Sasuke stretched out his hand to block the attack, and at the same time Chidori Ryu launched. A large amount of blue lightning quickly spread along Kakuzu's hands and spread all over his body, causing his eyes to widen and his lotus body to tremble. On the other side, Hidan wields a giant scythe and kills the two wooden golems. Be careful, don't get any blood, you will be cursed by him. Sasuke reminded. What? How did he know? The two were extremely surprised. So that's it. Wooden golem nodded slightly, thinking of the scene where Hidan performed the ritual before. Does the so-called curse mean transferring one's own harm to others? Damn it! Angle roared fiercely, and the four black monsters on his back jumped out instantly. Wind style, suppress. The wind attribute monster opens its mouth and performs wind style Ninaku. However, when Lei Ling flapped his wings, a strong wind suddenly blew up. Kakuzu's wind style ninjutsu was directly offset. Lei Ling, kill them. As soon as Sasuke spoke, the giant Thunderhawk nodded. Boom! 2 huge thunderbolts fell from the sky. Hidan was electrocuted until his whole body was blackened and he fell to the ground. Kakuzu's body was also paralyzed by the lightning attack, unable to move. Chidori Chiban. Sasuke waved his hand, and dense white lightning rods flew out. Shot Hidan and Kakuzu. The chakra points on their bodies were instantly sealed. At the same time, Chidori Chiban continued to release the power of lightning style, keeping their bodies paralyzed and unable to move. Unable to feel the power of chakra, the two were shocked. Just one piece of your heart is enough. The thunder and lightning condor opened its mouth again, blasting out thunder and lightning like a small unicorn device. The speedy heart monster was hit by lightning before it had time to react. Then, the Reikiri in Sasuke's hand turned into a light blade. He looks like a ghost, assisted by Lei Ling's thunder and lightning attack. Several monsters approached in an instant. The knife falls from the hand. Under Sasuke's attack, the heart monster died quickly. Damn kid, damn it. Seeing his hard-earned heart being destroyed, Kakuzu gritted his teeth. HMPH, done. Looking at the 2 people who fell to the ground, Sasuke clapped his hands slightly. Well, that's amazing. He defeated the members of the Akatsuki organization so easily. By Wooden Golem opened his mouth in shock. You know, even if he completely transformed into a tailed beast before, he still couldn't help the 2 flexible people. But in Sasuke's hands, the 2 of them were captured alive very quickly. It's simply terrifyingly strong. Sasuke smiled, if it weren't for the fact that the Senbon Dao pattern could not be exposed in front of Wooden Golem. He will defeat both of them more easily. Thank you. By the way, I almost forgot, your name is. Wooden Golem stepped forward, thanked Sasuke and spoke. Uchiha Sasuke, take this thing. Sasuke tossed him a kunai with a seal on it. Then, by Wooden Golem smiled. Sasuke carried Kakuzu and the 2 of them and landed on Lei Ling's back. By the way, by Wooden Golem, do you want to leave with me? If you stay in Cloud Shinobi Village, Akatsuki members will come to your door one after another. Sasuke spoke. This. Wooden Golem hesitated for a moment, then jumped on Lei Ling's back. Then, let's go. Sasuke nodded and left quickly with her. On Lei Ling's back, the strong wind howled. By Wooden Golem hugged Sasuke's waist tightly to prevent himself from falling. Wooden Golem, you have 2 tails in your body, you trust me so much, and come with me. Are you not afraid of me dealing with you? Besides, when they find out about the movie, they will probably be furious. Sasuke said half-jokingly, every tailed beast is the most important treasure to the 5 major nations. If you find that the second tail is missing, you will definitely be very anxious. By Wooden Golem shook his head slightly. With your strength, if you really want to deal with me, I won't be able to escape. For example, the summoning beast you have is the famous Wind Thunder Giant Eagle. And, I'll leave a message for Reikage too. By Wooden Golem sighed. As a member of the Kingdom of Thunder, she certainly knows about the extremely terrifying beast that lives in the Wind and Thunder Canyon. For hundreds of years, powerful ninjas have been coming to conquer it. But without exception, they all failed. She didn't expect that the young man in front of her would succeed. Combined with the way he looked at ease when dealing with members of the Akatsuki organization, it can be concluded from Wooden Golem that Sasuke's strength is not something she can resist. By the way, Sasuke, now that you saved me, what do you want in return? Asked in a low voice by Wooden Golem. Give me part of the 2-tailed chakra. Sasuke thought for a moment and said. The purpose of his search for the second-tailed Matabi is to obtain the tailed beast chakra. Good. By Wooden Golem breathed a sigh of relief. The tailed beast's chakra is very large, and if you separate a part of it, the impact will be very small. Sasuke's request was very simple for her. Then, be careful. Sasuke spoke, then held the hands of the 2 wooden golems, and activated the enema trap. Feeling the burning heat from her hands, Wooden Golem blushed slightly, but she did not struggle. Soon, Wooden Golem was able to notice that the tailed beast chakra in his body was uncontrollably flowing into Sasuke's body. That's awesome. How did he do it? By Wooden Golem couldn't help but look at Sasuke. The beautiful boy in front of him was really mysterious. Not only is he powerful, he also has various powerful ninjutsu. After all, the tailed beast chakra is not something you can just take. The vast majority of people simply cannot bear it, let alone take the initiative to absorb it. After a moment, Sasuke stopped. He only needs a small part of the tailed beast chakra to use as the seed for 10 tails. Unfortunately, Kakuzu's heart monster cannot be used to absorb chakra. Sasuke sighed. He now has the 4 attributes chakra of thunder, fire, water and earth. As long as you absorb the wind-style chakra, you can collect the 5 attribute chakras. Unfortunately, wind-style ninjas are few and far between. In addition, Sasuke is very picky, so he may not be able to get it together in a short time. At this time, Sasuke thought of Tamari in Hidden Sand Village. She is considered a powerful wind-style ninja, but Sasuke is not able to use the Onagora technique on her. After all, the Sand Shadow and Konoha had just gotten back together. If Sasuke really rushed into Sunagakur and forcibly absorbed Temari's chakra, it would definitely be considered an invasion. Although, with his strength, he is not afraid at all. But the relationship between the 2 ninja villages may break down again. After all, it wasn't long ago that Gaara took on the role of Kazekage. Taking action against Feng Ying's sister is not a small crime. It will definitely cause a series of disturbances. He didn't want to make it difficult for Tsunade. Sasuke, where are we going now? Suddenly, the voice of Wooden Golem brought him back to his senses. Let's go to Kurigakure first, I have an acquaintance here. Sasuke said, the country of water is far away from the mainland and is quite secluded. Kurigakure is in deep Yamanaka. Few outsiders visit. Sasuke will be secretly hidden here by the Wooden Golem, and it will be difficult for the Akatsuki organization to find him. Shortly after, Terumi Mei's office, Sasuke told her the general story. Ah, you mean, you kidnapped her way? Terumi Mei looked surprised. If Sasuke does this, I'm afraid the Land of Thunder will be offended. Please, I didn't kidnap you. She followed her here for the safety of Cloud Shinobi Village. Sasuke pouted. Okay, aren't you afraid of bringing danger to Kurigakure? Terumi Mei put her hands on her hips and touched Sasuke's forehead. What are you afraid of? I have the Flying Thunder God technique and can come to support you at any time. The members of the Akatsuki organization really dare to come here, I will make sure they never come back. Sasuke said with confidence. Well, that's pretty much it. Terumi Mei nodded slightly and rolled her eyes at him. By the way, the 2 Akatsuki members captured alive, Hidan, are staying here. Watch and process it yourself and see if you can get any useful information out of his mind. Sasuke thought for a moment and said. As for Kakuzu, he brought him back to Konoha, near Yamanaka Haiichi and the others. Sasuke also wants to see if he can find the base of the Akatsuki organization in Kakuzu's mind and get traces of Uchiha Itachi. Don't worry, we Kurigakure are the best at this kind of thing. Well, I haven't seen Sasuke for a few days, have you thought about it? Terumi Mei's eyes were watery and she whispered in her ear. Huh, then just stand still. Soon, the Kunoichi guard at the door heard 5th Mizukage practicing water style again. A long time after Terumi Mei arranged the residence of Wooden Golem, she returned to Sasuke. You guy, the second-tailed Jinchuriki is another beauty. Tell me, besides me, how many other lovers do you have? Terumi Mei glanced at Sasuke resentfully. Not many, just a few, Yuhi Hong, Tsunade. Sasuke stretched out his fingers and counted slowly. Wait, what did you say? Terumi Mei's eyes widened. Forget it, Kurenai Yuhi was just an ordinary jonin in Konoha village. Then Tsunade, one of the legendary Sannin, was also captured by you. Sasuke nodded. Good guy, you are quite powerful. As a Konoha shinobi, you actually gave Hokage a backhand. Terumi Mei had a smile on her face. This guy Sasuke actually dares to penetrate the Hokage. So brave. Why, aren't you jealous? Sasuke was a little surprised when he saw this. Looking at Terumi Mei, she seems to be quite 8 trigrams. You are so good, and if you want to revive Uchiha, you must marry more women. Why should I be jealous? Terumi Mei said nonchalantly. As long as you, little guy, have me in your heart, that's enough. Sasuke was a little moved and hugged her tightly. It's great to have such a considerate sister. Then, Terumi Mei breathed blue into his ear. Now, you should know who is most qualified to be the leader of the Uchiha clan. Good guy. So that's it. Sasuke realized that Terumi also wanted to be the head palace. This immediately made him a little troubled. Tsunade, she also wants to be the clan leader's wife. Sasuke paused and spoke. Huh, you won't agree to her, will you? Terumi's eyes widened nervously. That's not true, but this is very troublesome for me. Who should be responsible? Sasuke said deliberately. Tsunade's performance is also very good. HMPH, I won't lose to her. Terumi snorted softly and seemed to be about to use a move to press the bottom of the box. Sasuke, come here. Soon, the two had another hearty battle. Sasuke thought to himself, Terumi, she really deserves to be the water shadow. However, speaking of it really makes Sasuke a little embarrassed. Terumi and Tsunade, one is as gentle as water, the other is as passionate as fire. They are both gentle and mature big sisters. Although Tsunade has a big heart, Terumi is not small either. At the same time, both of them are also high-status figures. It's really hard to tell the difference. A few days later, a dark underground stronghold, Pain gathered several other Akatsuki members. Everyone, I have some bad news for you. Hidan and Kakuzu disappeared while on a mission to capture Urarue. Pain's voice was low. What? I didn't expect that this immortal duo also. Hoshigaki Kisame looked surprised. The person who defeated them was Wei. Not sure. Zetsu on the side said, according to my investigation, they had a battle with Wei. Next, a powerful lightning-style ninja should appear. Soon after, Wei also disappeared. Ju told the story of his investigation. 2 by wooden when Golem was transferred by Sasuke, almost no one knew about it, so they couldn't find any trace of her. Could it be that fourth Raikage took action? Well, it's very possible that the previous generations of Kage have been very strong. Moreover, the location where they fought is not far from Cloud Shinobi Village. Cloud Shinobi Village's 8-tails killer bee is also very powerful. If he combines with Raikage and adds the second-tailed Jinchuriki, it would be normal for Kakuzu and the others to lose. Everyone in the Akatsuki organization speculated. Everyone, in short, this is a lesson, our Akatsuki organization personnel are good at it. You must keep a low profile when capturing tailed beasts in the future, and stay dormant during this period. Don't cause any more casualties. Tiandao Pain reminded him. The rest of the Shao organization heard this and nodded one after another. Intelligence is very important. Remember, you must find out clearly before taking action. Scorpion, activate your spies lurking in various countries and try to collect as much intelligence as possible. Pain ordered. I see. The Red Sand Scorpion spoke. Okay, let's disband for now. Konoha Village. Hokage Office. Sasuke, this trip went well. Tsunade asked with a smile. HMPH, that's natural. That Thunder Eagle has become my summoning beast. Afterwards, Sasuke explained the general story again. What did you say? You also captured Kakuzu, a member of the Akatsuki organization. Tsunade stood up suddenly, with a surprised look on his face. Sasuke nodded slightly. Tsunade, this matter is kept secret for now. The Akatsuki organization has many eyes and ears. Tsunade nodded slightly. Well, I will secretly arrange for interrogation. Sasuke, you did a good job. Well, I have to reward you well. Tsunade said seductively. Sasuke smiled knowingly and locked the office door. Late at night, Shizune walked into the Hokage building. She immediately saw that the lights in Hokage's office were still on. It's strange, Tsunade-sama is still at work. Why has she become so diligent? Shizune was a little confused. She approached and tried to open the door, but found it was locked. Tsunade-sama, are you still there? Shizune asked loudly. However, there was silence inside. Tsunade-sama. I am still here. Suddenly, Tsunade's voice came out. Shizune, you, just go back first. I still have things to deal with. Tsunade's voice was broken, as if he was panting. Well, I understand, Tsunade-sama, you should also rest early. Although Shizune felt a little strange, she didn't take it seriously. Tsunade-sama is also very diligent, well, he really deserves to be a Hokage. Shizune thought to himself and left quickly. After a long time, Tsunade opened the door and took a calculated look. Sasuke, next time you do this, I will be angry. Tsunade turned his head, saw Sasuke with a proud look on his face, and said with a soft hum. Sasuke spread his hands and said teasingly, "My Lord Hokage, this was obviously your initiative, you can't blame me." 627, besides, you don't want Shizune to know about this kind of thing. Sasuke smiled evilly. I don't care, anyway, you were wrong. Tsunade said with a blush. The two of them chatted for a while before getting down to business. Sasuke, you said you want to study Hashirama cells, I have a suitable candidate here. Oh, who is it? Sasuke asked curiously. Yamato, have you heard of him? He used to be Danzo's subordinate. He successfully transplanted Hashirama cells when he was a child. He is the only ninja in Konoha village who knows wood style. Tsunade handed Yamato's information to Sasuke. It turns out it's him. Sasuke remembered. Yamato is indeed a low-end version of Senju Hashirama. Hashirama, after all, is the reincarnation of Ashura, a being with a sage body. Also using wood style, with his huge chakra, the power is naturally much stronger than Yamato. However, the two have very similar powers, and Sasuke can use Yamato's cells to study them. Well, Orochimaru may still have his records there, so let's take a look. Sasuke is well aware that Yamato is actually the result of Orochimaru's experimental research. At that time, Orochimaru and Danzo were working together, and the two were conducting wood-style research experiments with the third Hokage. As the experiments continued to fail, more and more babies died. Sarutobi Hiruzen had no choice but to shut down the experiment. But the two Orochimaru were doing it secretly. In the end, they really succeeded in developing the Yamato clone. Sage body, Hashirama cells, and Tsunade's Baihao technique, all belong to Yang Escape. It just so happens that the 9 palaces of my physical training Dao stars also have corresponding Dao palaces. Wuku Dao star corresponds to the immortal Dao palace. The Palace of Immortality is located at the heart acupuncture point of the human body. The heart is the source of chi and blood for the human body, and chi and blood have a terrifying regeneration history. Once turned on, Sasuke's body will have incredible recovery capabilities. As soon as it is turned on, it is comparable to Tsunade's Baihao technique. Even if it is disemboweled, it can heal quickly. And the further back you go, the more terrifying the immortal palace becomes. Sasuke's vitality will also become more terrifying. It can even regenerate severed limbs. Even if the heart is destroyed, it will not be affected at all. However, it is not easy to start the path to immortality. Not only does it require physical strength, but it also requires some understanding of Yang Dan. Now, Sasuke just wants to understand Yang Escape through Tsunade's Baihao technique and Hashirama cells. A few days later, Yamato's cells were sent to Orochimaru's former secret research site. Under Sasuke's orders, Yakushi Kabuto opens Shikai section and analyzes its chakra properties. Research reports one after another slowly appeared in front of Sasuke. At the same time, Sasuke often communicates with Tsunade to learn about her experience in developing Baihao technique. Tsunade naturally had no reservations about Sasuke and told him everything in detail. Slowly, with the summary, Sasuke gradually understood. It turns out that the essence of Yang Dan is to stimulate the life history hidden in cells. The human body is the real treasure. Normally, the chakra used by ninjas only develops a very small part of the human body's treasures. Through continuous practice, ninjas will gradually develop the hidden power of the human body. Once the chakra reaches its peak, just like Sage of Six Paths, you will naturally understand the yin and yang escape technique. Suddenly, Sasuke thought of the Otsutsuki clan. This race can convert all of its own information into a wedge. Remain in the reincarnated person. Once dead, restart the wedge and the reincarnated person will be swallowed. Otsutsuki can transform from the cellular level and be resurrected again. This is proof of applying the power of Yang Escape to ultimate. But Sasuke's Palace of Immortality is different. It spreads all its information throughout the body and imprints it on all cells. After cultivating to the ultimate level, you can be reborn with blood and become immortal. With the help of one of your own cells, you can be resurrected and truly have an immortal body. with Sasuke's understanding of the power of yang escape. At a certain moment, as his mental power swept over him, finally, he found a dark red star at the heart acupuncture point. It is the Palace of Immortality. Sasuke did not hesitate, condensed chakra, and blasted towards the crimson star. Boom! Sasuke was shocked. Blood spurts out from the countless pores all over the body surface. The intense pain caused Sasuke's face to distort. It hurts, it really hurts. Opening the Palace of Immortality is like reinventing oneself. Every time Sasuke tries to open it, the pain goes deep into his bones. Continue. Sasuke gritted his teeth, and chakra continued to blast towards the Tao Palace under the guidance of spiritual power. Universe Starry Sky. This is also uncharted territory. The vast energy and blood gather here, like an ocean. The originally dark void was rendered into a bloody color. And in the middle of the blood-colored ocean, there is a huge star that is as beautiful as blood. As Sasuke continued to bombard the immortal palace, the bloody star also slowly trembled, as if it began to echo Sasuke. At some point, Sasuke reaches the breaking point. His chakra finally broke through the shackles of Tao Palace. Suddenly, the extremely rich power of chi and blood was attracted from 9 days away and poured into Sasuke's body. Sasuke seems to be bathing in an ocean of chi and blood, and every cell is constantly transforming. Most of the day later, Sasuke opened his eyes, double. After he opened the Palace of Immortality, his power did not make a qualitative leap. But the benefits gained are far greater than before. All cells in the body have undergone transformation and have infinite vitality. Sasuke's skin also became as crystal clear as jade, and his whole person exuded an unimaginable charm. People can't help but want to get close to him. This is the essential temptation that belongs to the power of life. Sasuke smiled. The children born in this state would definitely be very talented. This is one of the reasons why he has to wait for the Queen of Strength to rebuild Uchiha. But of course, Uchiha Itachi must be killed first. But the results of these days of investigation made Sasuke very dissatisfied. Both Hidan and Kakuzu have special sealing techniques set up in their minds. Konoha village cannot be cracked either. Moreover, for some unknown reason, the Akatsuki organization's recent actions seem to have been much lower key. Whether it is Konoha's intelligence system or the forces under Sasuke's command, the information collected is very limited. Little progress has been made. The rainy season. Light rain kept falling in the sky. Rain Shinobi Village. This is a very unique village composed of countless steel tube buildings. In the village, pedestrians were wearing bamboo hats and walking in a hurry. Occasionally, they looked at the tall tower in the center of the village, showing respect. Since the arrival of Pain, who claims to be God, a few years ago, he showed terrifying power and easily killed Hanzo of the Salamander. Subsequently, Pain took control of the entire Rain Shinobi village and re-established a set of order. Standing at the top is Pain, who is called God, and the angels under his command. Originally, many villagers in Rain Shinobi village did not like Pain's sudden appearance. But over the past few years, Rain Shinobi village gradually became stronger and stronger under his rule. Although the village is closed, no outside ninja dares to invade. Because anyone who dares to sneak into the village will be easily killed by Pain. Gradually, Rain Shinobi village became a forbidden area for outsiders. This allows ordinary people who have been devastated by war for a long time to enjoy rare peace. Pain's occasional miracles and his terrifying calendar. Gradually becoming the mainstay of everyone in Rain Shinobi village. On the tower, thunder rumbled. Pain and Konan suddenly turned their heads. Uchiha Obito, wearing an Uzumaki mask and black clothes, appeared quietly. It's really surprising that you came here on 1.8. Konan showed a hint of surprise and said, I can't help it. Under your leadership, the actions of the Akatsuki organization have not been very smooth recently. Hidan Lee 3, I'm afraid he is dead now. What a pity. Uchiha Obito spoke. What, do you have information about their station? Pain turned his head and stared at the king coldly. No, I don't know who did it, but according to the current situation, I have to take action. Pen, you announced to others that I joined the Akatsuki organization as a new member, codenamed Afei. This time, I must find out who is fighting against the Akatsuki organization. Under the Uzumaki mask, Taida's eyes were red. Except Hidan and Angle died just a few months ago. Kurigakure's fourth Mizukage Yagura also escaped his control. At that time, a mysterious man took action and joined forces with Terumime and others to stop the Three Tails riot, and successfully cracked his illusion. Uchiha Obito lost an important chess piece. He even had a vague suspicion in his heart whether the two things were related. Conan and Pain looked at each other. It seems that this guy is a little anxious. The two of them couldn't help but think. Hokage office. Tsunade told Sasuke something. You mean, you want to add Yamato to Class 7? Sasuke was a little surprised. Well, during this time, Naruto followed Jiraiya and left Konoha. There is a huge gap between little Sakura's strength and yours. Moreover, now she has become my disciple and is learning medical ninjutsu from me. Your Class 7 is actually just you and Kakashi. So, I haven't arranged a mission, but now the mission is here. Tsunade smiled and explained to Sasuke. Mission? What kind of mission do you want me to do? Sasuke was a little confused, and it wasn't like Tsunade didn't know his strength. If he is asked to perform a task, isn't it overkill? Don't worry, this mission is extraordinary, the reward is. Otherwise, I wouldn't have sent you, Kakashi and the others to attack together. You are all the elites of Konoha. Besides, Sasuke, you will need a lot of funds to revitalize Uchiha. If this mission is completed, you can get at least hundreds of millions of taels in reward. Tsunade said with a mysterious look. Hundreds of millions of taels. Sasuke's eyes lit up. Where did the rich man come from to be so rich? But then, he calmed down a bit. With such a large reward, this mission is not easy, let me tell you. Sasuke spoke. Let's wait until Kakashi and the others come over. While the two were talking, with a click, the door opened, and Kakashi walked in with Yamato. Tsunade-sama. Yamato greets Tsunade. Tsunade-sama, you and Sasuke have a really good relationship. Kakashi scratched his head and said. Ahem, Kakashi, I didn't, don't talk nonsense. Tsunade quickly denied it. Kakashi glanced at her suspiciously. He just said something, is it necessary to have such a big reaction? Ahem, let's get down to business first. Tsunade coughed and quickly changed the subject. In fact, this mission was commissioned by the daimyo of the country. A commission from the daimyo of Kawanoguni. When Tsunade spoke, Sasuke and Kabuto were a little surprised. The country of Kawawa is not weak and rich, so it actually entrusts Konoha village with a mission. Kakashi touched his chin. A daimyo is the most respected person in a country. Under normal circumstances, tasks will not be delegated personally. What's more, although the strength of the kingdom of Sichuan is not as good as that of the 5 major countries, it is still considered a powerful country. They also have their own ninja village, but it is really rare that they need to ask Konoha for help. Tsunade spoke next. Well, the specific mission is that the country of Kawawa has been bombed by unknown reasons recently. And the explosion was so powerful that it caused them heavy losses. But the murderer of the bombing was very fast and had the ability to fly. The ninjas of Kawanoguni tried many times, but Nishi failed to catch the murderer. That's why they asked Konoha for help. Sasuke spoke silently. Judging from the situation described by Tsunade, he had already roughly guessed who the murderer was. Is this guy shouting about art while exploding? Sasuke was speechless. This is clearly Deidara's handiwork. I don't know about this, what's wrong? Sasuke, do you know who the murderer is? Tsunade looked at Sasuke and asked seriously. Kakashi and Yamato also turned to look at him. This guy should be one of the members of the Akatsuki organization, the explosive demon Deidara. According to the information I know, Deidara has done similar things before, so he was classified as a traitor by the Kingdom of Earth. Sasuke expressed his guess. That's true, but Sasuke, you're really well informed. Kakashi said. The Akatsuki organization is very secretive, and with a small number of members, they are very powerful. Therefore, the outside world does not know much about them. Kakashi, he only heard a few words from Jiraiya and understood some basic information. Of course, he didn't know that Sasuke had killed Orochimaru and took control of Orochimaru's forces. Kakashi-senpai, Sasuke, without further ado, let's leave as soon as possible. At this time, Yamato on the side spoke. Tsunade also nodded. This mission is classified as S level, so be careful. Yes, Tsunade-sama, Kakashi and others replied. Soon, the three of them packed their luggage and rushed to meet at the gate of Konoha village. According to the map, the Kingdom of Sichuan is located between the Kingdom of Fire and the Kingdom of Wind. The distance is not too far. Sasuke, Yamato, let's hurry up and we should be there in 2 days. Kakashi glanced at the map and said, the country of Sichuan. Sasuke frowned slightly. This country is relatively remote, and during this period, he did not leave any flying thunder god spell here. Walk. The three of them took the right direction and quickly rushed towards the Kingdom of Sichuan. After entering the forest, Sasuke stopped first and called Kakashi and the two of them. What's wrong, Sasuke? The two of them were a little confused. The mission was urgent and they should rush there as soon as possible. It's better to ride over on my summoning beast, it will be much faster. Sasuke smiled slightly and then used the summoning technique. With a bang, the huge body of the Thunder Condor appeared in the forest. Okay, such a big condor, Sasuke, you said this is your summoning beast. Kakashi and Yamato looked shocked. From this giant eagle, they can feel a strong threat. Obviously, Sasuke, the summoning beast, is very powerful. More importantly, Lei Ling's appearance looks very cool. In this world, a powerful summoning beast is very enviable. Sasuke, where did you get such a powerful summoning mon? Kakashi muttered to himself. As a student, my strength is getting more and more deceptive. He was almost left behind. Kakashi's mood was complicated, both helpless and surprised. Soon, the three of them jumped on Lei Ling's back. He flapped his wings and flew away at an astonishing speed. Along the way, Yamato looked at Sasuke from time to time. The young man in front of me is really surprising. Although, he had already heard that Sasuke performed outstandingly during the Orochimaru invasion. He is one of the most talented ninjas in Konoha village. When he saw it today, Yamato was extremely surprised by the summoning beast alone. Sasuke's strength seems to be even more exaggerated than the rumors. He said silently in his heart. Just over 2 hours. The three of Sasuke arrived at Kawanokuni. Sasuke, go directly to Yugakure village, where the daimyo of Kawanoguni is now. Kakashi opened the scroll and took a look at it and said. Sasuke nodded and patted the thunder spirit beneath him. The latter let out a sharp cry, then changed direction and flew towards Tengyun village. Dozens of minutes later, a village with fertile land but full of smoke and many abandoned buildings visible from high altitude appeared in front of the three of them. It seems that members of the Akatsuki organization knew that the daimyo was hiding here and launched an attack. Looking at the large number of bombed houses below, Yamato frowned and said, let's go down. Soon, Sasuke and the other three walked into Yugakure village. Hey, this ninja village, at this time, there are only 2 chunin guarding the gate. It's really. Sasuke frowned. Moreover, he could clearly feel that these 2 chunin were not as strong as the ninjas of the same level in Konoha. Tengyun village is too weak. Well, it's not their fault. Sasuke, you don't know something. Yugakure has a reputation as a village that has forgotten the war. In the past few ninja wars, almost none of them affected the country of Sichuan. The disappearance of the war and the long-term peaceful life have caused the combat effectiveness of Yuyan village to continue to shrink, and the number of ninjas has become smaller and smaller. Kakashi explained to Sasuke. So that's it. Sasuke suddenly realized that war seems to be a double-edged sword. Although, the war was very cruel, and a large number of ninjas continued to die as a result. But it is undeniable. The cruel war has tempered the ninjas on the battlefield, allowing them to maintain considerable combat effectiveness. Soon, under the leadership of the ninjas from Yuno country, the three Kakashi walked into an inconspicuous building. A luxuriously decorated hall. Everyone in Konoha, you are finally here. In the main seat of the hall, a naive fat man stood up. By the way, let me introduce myself first. I am Lu Chuan, the daimyo of Tang country. 3 of you, as long as you help me catch that nasty bomber, I will definitely satisfy you in terms of reward. Daiming Lu Chuan said. Lord Daimyo, please tell us the situation in detail first. Kakashi spoke. Well, about a few days ago. Above the clouds high in the sky, Deidara is sitting on a huge clay eagle, accompanied by a guy wearing a mask. Deidara Senpai, are you going to show off your art again? But, Boss Pain asked you to keep a low profile. Afei asked with a sharp voice. Afei, you newbie know nothing. Ever since I joined the Akatsuki organization, I have been driven to pieces. Of course I have to put my art to good use, Deidara said nonchalantly. In fact, because of Pain's order, he had deliberately avoided places such as Konoha Village and Hidden Sand Village. When you come to this remote Kawa country, you won't be discovered by the people of Konoha. Deidara thought to himself, well, let's go. If I use C2, the entire Tang village will be blown up to the sky. Deidara smiled evilly. Obito looked at the unaware Deidara and thought to himself. Deidara, if he makes such a big noise, he will definitely attract the attention of other ninjas. HMPH, let him be the bait and see if he can catch a few big fish. Uchiha Obito sneered inwardly. Deidara inserted his hands into the clay bag at his waist. The big mouth on his palm kept swallowing the clay. Soon, as he mixed in the chakra, clay spiders quickly took shape. The clay eagle that was originally flying at high altitude quickly descended and came to the sky above Tangyan village. Hum hum. Deidara flicked his hands, and a large number of clay spiders fell from the sky. They all raised their legs and quickly jumped into the building nearby. Well, the art will begin soon. Deidara raised the corners of his mouth and formed a seal with his hands, drink. Boom. As the clay spider is detonated, violent explosions occurred throughout Tangyan village, and houses collapsed one after another. The villagers in the village who didn't know what was going on cried out in fear and escaped. Help, that guy is here again. Damn it, where are the ninjas in our village? Why don't you kill him? Yes, if this continues, our Tangyan village will be doomed. Oh, stop talking. The explosions in the past few days have been planned for the Tutu Ninja exhibition. I think we should move out of this village quickly, otherwise we will end sooner or later if we continue. Deidara looked at the village below filled with black smoke and full of fire, with a smile on his lips. Well, sure enough, explosion is the most beautiful musical art. Well, that daimyo from the kingdom of Kawa still doesn't want to get out. The miniature telescope equipped in Deidara's left eye is constantly scanning the bottom. His goal from the beginning was the famous name. Under his pursuit, the daimyo of Kawanoguni jumped into Tangyan village. HMPH, a ninja village in a small country like this can't stop me. Deidara sneered inwardly. He continued to control the clay spider to search for targets and launch explosions. Wanting to create greater chaos and force the daimyo out. Deidara senpai, your goal is to kill the daimyo of Kawanoguni. This is a big event. If the leader finds out, he will blame you, senior. Afei said exaggeratedly from the side. HMPH, what are you doing? The leader has already said that the purpose of our Shao organization at this stage is to make money. Make money, do you understand? Deidara snorted coldly, looked at Afei and scolded. But senior, what does killing a famous person have to do with making money? I really don't understand. Afei touched his head and whispered. HMPH, using my art to kill the great names of the Kawa country will be enough to scare other small countries. When the time comes, if I go to other small countries to cause explosions, those big names will definitely be afraid. Wouldn't they just pay the money obediently? Moreover, in this way, I can also make the name of my art field completely ninja painting. Deidara said proudly, kill two birds with one stone. HMPH, even if the leader knows, he will only praise me, you know. Deidara patted Afei on the head. Afei, as a newcomer, you still have to study hard with me, a senior. That's it, senior, you are so smart. Afei nodded and said. This guy Deidara is a little smart. Obito originally thought that Deidara was just creating explosions to satisfy his so-called art. Unexpectedly, there was another purpose. In the luxurious hall. The name Lu Chuan suddenly trembled with fright when he heard the violent explosion coming from outside. Damn it, this damn guy is here again. Everyone in Konoha, I'm counting on you this time. Lu Chuan looked like Sasuke and the other three, and said nervously. Then, he clapped his hands, and two ninjas immediately stepped forward and opened a huge box. The wooden boxes are full of cash. As long as you help me kill him, all these rewards will be given to you. Sasuke's eyelids twitched slightly. The amount of cash is at least 1 billion taels, or even more. He and Kakashi looked at each other and thought to themselves. Well, it is indeed the rich country of Sichuan, and it is really rich. The country of Sichuan is rich in land and has many mineral veins. In addition, they have not suffered from wars all year round. In terms of wealth, they are probably close to the 5 major countries. This is also the reason why Deidara chose to come to the country of Sichuan. After all, this is a big fat sheep. Tangyan village, some high-rise building rooftops. Archer, come here quickly. Quick, shoot it down quickly. Master Lu Chuan is in the village to protect his safety. Some catapults and archers were in place. They kept attacking Deidara's clay eagle in the sky. It's a pity, because the distance is far, and the sticky king eagle is very flexible. They are hard to hit. Even if it hits occasionally, since the clay eagle is not alive, it is almost unaffected. The only Jonin in Yuyan village sighed when he saw this. Damn it, there's absolutely nothing we can do. There are not many ninjas in Tangyan village, and there are even fewer who can use long-range attack ninjutsu. There are no ninjas with the ability to fly. Therefore, every time Deidara launched an arrogant air raid, they could only stare. Nothing can be done. Now, it's up to those few people from Konoha. He prayed secretly in his heart. Otherwise, if this continues, the daimyo will be killed in the explosion sooner or later. The 3 Kakashi came to the clearing. It's indeed Deidara. Sasuke looked up into the air. Suddenly, when he noticed the figure wearing an Uzumaki mask next to Deidara, Sasuke's pupils narrowed slightly. Uchiha Obito, I didn't expect him to be here. It seems that I have to hide some strength. Sasuke knew it. Obito's Kamui is very difficult to deal with. He has the hollow ability, so it's very difficult to kill him. And Kakashi's Kamui hasn't awakened yet. He wasn't sure he could break into Obito's time and space. He didn't want Obito to be wary of him until he couldn't kill the opponent. Otherwise, the Akatsuki organization will list him as its number 1 target. It won't be that easy for him to kill Uchiha Itachi and Obito. Sasuke, it's your turn to take action. Kakashi turned to look at him. Ninjas with the ability to fly are still very difficult to deal with. Even Kakashi has no solution. Sasuke nodded slightly, formed a seal with his hands and used the summoning technique. In midair, Deidara looked down, and he suddenly frowned. Those guys don't seem to be ninjas from Yuyan village. The telescope in Deidara's left eye quickly focused. HMPH, it turns out it's Konoha shinobi, the helper invited by Kawanoguni. Of course, Senior Deidara, if they can't deal with you, they will definitely call for help. Shut up, Faye, just 3 Konoha shinobi, look at me. Wait, Senior, look up there. Don't be so surprised, Faye, let me see. Damn, what's going on? Deidara looked up, beads of sweat forming on his forehead. I saw a huge green-blue condor that was huge and covered the clouds and the sun. The huge claws flashing with light suddenly grabbed him. No, Senior, run away. As soon as Faye finished speaking, Clay Fukuro flapped his wings quickly. After narrowly dodging the attack, it was about to escape. Suddenly, a strong wind blew up in the sky, and a large number of translucent wind blades quickly formed. Whoosh! The wind blade cuts at an astonishing speed. Clay Fukuro had no time to dodge, and was cut into several pieces by the wind blade, falling from midair. Deidara and the 2 fell on a roof in panic. It was so dangerous, Senior, we were almost cut in half. Ah Fei said fearfully. Hey, we finally meet, Shao. Kakashi and the other 3 appeared in front of them and said. HMPH, the ninjas of Konoha, I can't see that you are having trouble. Deidara sneered. But, take my move. He stretched out his hand fiercely, and 2 clay dolls appeared in front of him. Go! They twisted their bodies and quickly rushed towards the 3 Sasukes. Be careful, all his ninjutsu are explosives. Sasuke reminded. I see. Kakashi and Yamato nodded. They quickly retreated and distanced themselves. Don't even think about escaping. Deidara roared, and a large number of clay ants suddenly appeared behind the 3 of them. They jumped and rushed over with amazing jumping power. This is. Kakashi and Yamato's eyes widened. Deidara's ambush caught them off guard. Wow, that's awesome, Deidara-senpai, when did you stay? Faye said in a surprised tone. Humph, of course it was where we fell from midair, so I quietly swept the clay ants around. Deidara looked proud, just when the clay ants were about to rush towards the three of them. Sasuke waved his hand and a large number of blue and white lightning rods were shot out, easily pinning these clay ants to the ground. Ah, senior, why didn't it explode? Afei asked curiously. Deidara's face suddenly stiffened. As soon as he finished pretending to be Qian Zhao, he was immediately slapped in the face. This fire, could it be? Sasuke's eyes turned scarlet, Sharingan appeared, and a look of contempt appeared on his face. Deidara, your tricks are of no use to me, Sasuke said coldly, matching his expression. Deidara's lungs almost exploded with anger. Those eyes are unmistakable, the same eyes as Uchiha Itachi, you. Deidara's eyes showed hatred. He immediately thought of the scene when the Akatsuki organization came to him not long ago and faced Uchiha Itachi. That contemptuous expression, that dismissive look. Exactly the same. This is a denial of his art. I am going to kill you. Deidara roared, and the clay doll rushed forward and was about to explode. Click. At this moment, a thunder struck from the sky. Boom. The building under the three people quickly collapsed under the thunder bombardment. Smoke and dust filled the cabinet. The clay doll also completely disappeared in the lightning. Such a strong lightning style, Sasuke, you summoning beast is too ruthless. Kakashi took a deep breath and said. Yamato was also frightened and reminded with lingering fear. Sasuke, if that thunder eagle continues to attack, then this village will. I see. Sasuke nodded slightly. Lei Ling's lightning style is too powerful, and if he continues to attack, it may bring disaster to Tangyan village. Deidara and Fei hide behind the ruins. Damn it, this summoning beast is still up there. Deidara looked up at the sky, where the huge body of Lei Ling was looming in the clouds. Deidara-senpai, what should we do now? This summoning beast is so strong. And it can also use lightning-style ninjutsu, so it can restrain you very well, senior. Afei asked nervously. Shut up, Fei. Deidara felt a little embarrassed and cursed. Go, help me bury the clay mines, I'm going to kill them. As Deidara waved his hand, a large number of clay mines were scattered around. Ah, Deidara-senpai, do you want to use the C2 dragon? But that summoning beast. Afei, you don't have to worry about it, just go and lay the mines. Yes, senior. Fei responded quickly, and then quickly sneaked into the ground with the mine. Uchiha Sasuke, those eyes are the same as Itachi's, and they are just as difficult. But today, you are finished, and Uchiha Itachi will go to hell soon. Deidara secretly looked at Sasuke and thought to himself. Sasuke glanced at Deidara's position intentionally or unintentionally. That guy Obito seems to have gone underground. Does Deidara want to use C2? Suddenly, a clay-headed two-winged bird flew into the air carrying Udala. Sasuke and the others discovered it immediately. Does this guy want to launch a sneak attack? Kakashi stared at the big clay bird. He was about to take action, but Sasuke stopped him. Is this fake? It's a clay double. With Sasuke's mental power, he can easily sense. The Deidara on the bird's back above is a lifeless clay clone. Sure enough, in the next second, the clay clone quickly flew towards the three of them. Be careful, he's going to explode. Kakashi's Sharingan immediately noticed the chakra surging in his body. However, Sasuke rushed over. HMPH, Uchiha's little ghost, let's die. Deidara's body surface quickly turned gray, and her body expanded violently. Zetsa. Suddenly, 1,000 birds chirped and noisy thunder sounded. Sasuke holds the thunderbolt in his hand, and the sun flash appears in front of Nien Fen. Poof! Chidori instantly penetrated the clone, and a large amount of lightning-style chakra poured in at the same time. The clay clone immediately turned into a mute egg. This scene fell in Kakashi's eyes. I see, his explosion is an earth-style ninjutsu. Kakashi understood immediately. Rikoto, that's why Sasuke uses Chidori to prevent the explosion of the clay clone. It's a pity that you understood it too late. Suddenly, Deidara appeared behind the three Sasukes on the C2 dragon. As the clay clone a decoy. Several people reacted quickly. Deidara raised his head and glanced at the sky. Sure enough, this summoning beast doesn't dare to attack when flying at such a low altitude. As the C2 dragon under his feet swelled, a small induced flying dragon with wings instantly flew out at an astonishing speed. Wood-style wood spindle wall. Yamato immediately formed a seal, and a row of thick wooden pillars bent from the ground to form an arch to protect the three of them. Boom, accompanied by a violent explosion. A big hole appeared on the ground beneath the three of them. However, due to the protection of wood-style ninjutsu, several people were not harmed. You can't even think of escaping from this height. Wood-style big forest technique. Yamato stretched out his hand, and a large number of wooden vine branches stretched out from his hand. Soon, the C2 dragon was entangled. Damn it! Deidara's expression changed. The C2 dragon was under Yamato's control and was quickly dragged to the ground by him. But the next second, Dilijiao smiled. Wait, Yamato. Kakashi was about to stop. The giant dragon followed the force and flew towards the three of them quickly. Watch out, it will explode if you are trapped. Deidara's eyes widened and she laughed. Immediately afterwards, the chakra in his body quickly concentrated to a point, and his body expanded violently. No, he's going to blow himself up. Kakashi and the others quickly retreated. At the same time, Yamato also quickly formed the seal. Wood-style tree boundary wall. On the ground beneath the three people, a large number of wooden pillars quickly rose up and entwined with each other. Soon, a huge trap wall formed. Boom! As Deidara self-destructed, a terrifying shock wave spread. Several surrounding buildings quickly collapsed in the explosion and were reduced to ashes. On the other side, Dilla and Afei emerged. The C2 dragon induction operation was successful. Seeing the three of them step into the minefield, Deidara had a smile on his face. Just now, it was just his shadow clone that self-destructed. Deidara's real purpose is to use the explosion to make the three of them retreat to the minefield set by Afei. Deidara-senpai, you are so smart. Afei praised. Now, the three of them will be blown to ashes. The two looked at each other and smiled. But after a while, Deidara's face fell when he saw that there was no explosion. What's going on, Fei? Didn't you lay a mine? How is it possible, senior? We have practiced it many times. Afei waved his hand hurriedly. Looks like it's lightning-style ninjutsu again. Deidara-senpai, let's run away quickly, these lightning-style ninjas are too restrained on you. Afei's voice deepened. Cut. Deidara gritted his teeth. On the other side, the corners of Sasuke's mouth raised slightly. It's so dangerous, Sasuke, but fortunately your Chidori Ryu is his nemesis. Kakashi smiled. Both of them have Sharingan, and the landmines planted by Afei are clearly visible in their eyes. When the three were forced back, Sasuke took the lead and used the bird stream to blast into the ground, instantly turning all the mines into dumb bombs. Damn it, what a cunning guy. Yamato looked scared. He thought he could catch his opponent, but he didn't expect the opponent to take advantage of this and directly close the distance and self-destruct. If Kakashi and the two hadn't responded promptly, caught off guard, he might not have time to use wood-style ninjutsu to block the attack. I'm afraid he will be seriously injured by the explosion. Sasuke, where is he hiding now? Kakashi asked. Sasuke closed his eyes and felt for a while. Found it, behind the collapsed building. Sasuke glanced over. No, Deidara-senpai, we were discovered. Afei was shocked when he saw the three people rushing towards him. Run away quickly, senior. Afei immediately got into the soil and prepared to escape. But Deidara closed her eyes tightly and rubbed her hands together. It'll be ready soon. Deidara spread his hands, and a terrifying doll with an open mouth took shape. Afei, run away quickly, I will use C3 to raise this village to the ground. Deidara looked crazy. Senior, then be careful. Afei's figure quickly dived into the ground. HMPH, what a crazy guy, he actually wants to use this kind of ninjutsu. Uchiha Obito thought to himself. Deidara had just arrived at the Akatsuki organization and Obito was surprised to learn about his abilities. C1 and C2 are just that. Although the power is not weak, it is still expected. The C3 horror doll is a bit shocking. Mixed with the highest level of chakra, the explosive formed is powerful enough to level the entire village. What a terrifying ninjutsu. Now, even if the three Sasukes can escape, Yugakure village will be finished. Obito sighed and waited silently. Soon, the three Sasukes surrounded Deidara. Shao, your explosive ninjutsu is restrained by lightning style, so let's just let it go. Kakashi stared at him. Yeah, Deidara pointed to the sky in the distance. In that case, then you can take my C3. I saw a terrifying clay doll falling from a high altitude, and the sky quickly changed with a loud sound. I almost forgot to mention that if this explosion is not stopped, Yugakure village and the daimyo of Kawanoguni will all disappear in my art. Deidara smiled. What? Kakashi, Yamato heard cold sweat break out on his forehead. Stop, destroy this village, your crimes will be investigated by the entire ninja world, you can't escape. Yamato growled at him. You naive guy, other ninja villages will not go to war with Akatsuki for the sake of Kawakuni. Deidara formed a seal with his hands and was about to activate the ninjutsu. Bah! With a cry that echoed across the sky, Lei Ling swooped down from a high altitude, grabbed the C3 doll in his mouth, and quickly flew away. Stupid, then I'll blow you up together. Deidara's eyes were filled with excitement, and the terrifying thunder and lightning giant eagle had been hindering him. Now you dare to bite C3, the opportunity has come. At Lei Ling's speed, he just flew several kilometers. Rumble, a huge fireball shot into the sky. In the distance, a violent explosion seemed to tear the earth apart. Terrible shock waves, together with violent tremors, quickly passed through. What's going on? Wow, look, what a terrifying fireball. Is this an explosion caused by the murderer? How is it possible? With such terrifying power, if it explodes in the village, wouldn't it be? The villagers and ninjas of Yuno country saw the terrifying power of CB explosion. They couldn't help but swallow their saliva. Terrible. An attack of this magnitude is enough to level the entire village. It turns out that the previous explosion was just a minor incident. Only now do they know what a terrifying enemy they are facing. The smoke cleared. A huge crater appeared on the ground. Lei Ling's huge body turned into nothingness in the explosion. Haha, damn you bastard, die well. Deidara smiled. Look, if you try to stop C3, this is what you will end up with. It's so beautiful, this moment of explosion, haha, my art is invincible. Deidara spread his hands with a look of enthusiasm. I said, what are you so proud of? Sasuke looked at him with cold eyes. HMPH, bastard Uchiha, it must be difficult to possess such a powerful summoning mon. Now, it's over. Deidara pointed at Sasuke with a proud look on his face. It's so stupid. No wonder you were played by Itachi in the midst of applause. Sasuke shook his head slightly, with a look of contempt on his face. Open your eyes and take a closer look. He formed a seal with his hands and used the summoning technique again. Bah! With a loud and cheerful cry, Fulling appeared in the air again. Just now, just before C3 exploded, he had released the summoning technique. The Thunder Condor naturally returned to the Wind and Thunder Canyon instantly and avoided the explosion. How is it possible? Deidara clenched her fists and couldn't believe it. Sasuke is so powerful that all his tricks have been broken. The art that I am proud of, in front of Sasuke. It seems to have become a joke. What? No more tricks? Sasuke looked at Deidara provocatively. Sharingan's eyes seemed to be filled with a faint smile. You, damn bastard, I'm going to kill you. Deidara lost his usual calmness and looked angry. Sasuke, that's enough, don't provoke him anymore, this guy is very dangerous. Kakashi stepped forward and said. The ninjutsu just now made him break into a cold sweat. Who knows, what tricks does this guy named Deidara have? Yamato, Dato has him under control. Kakashi ordered. Yamato seal, his hands stretched out a large number of thick vines, wrapping around Deidara. Ninjas of Konoha, don't even think about catching me. Deidara let out a roar. He flicked his hands, and two big clay snakes crawled out, blocking Yamato's wood style. Deidara drank low. Boom! A violent explosion shattered Yamato's wood style. Deidara's legs weakened and she fell to the ground due to the intense consumption of chakra. Damn it, these difficult guys dare to look down on my art again and again. Deidara gasped for air. 2 of the 3 people actually have lightning style. Even if I use C4, I'm afraid it will be useless. Besides, I don't have much of my detonating clay and chakra left. He thought quickly in his mind. In this state, he has been forced into a desperate situation. Deidara gritted his teeth and quickly released 2 clay flying cranes from the palm of his hand. They flapped their wings and flew towards the 3 people at an alarming speed. Deidara himself immediately used the Earth-style Tokuryugakur technique to escape. What a boring clay trick. Sasuke sneered for his whole life, and the Chidori current was like an electric grid, quickly covering the front. The clay bomb disappeared instantly under the thunder and lightning. Earth-style, dig into the earth. Sasuke puts his hands on the ground and pours chakra into the ground. Rumble. The ground instantly cracked and bulged, and Deidara's body was ejected directly. He fell to the ground, looking shocked. If you want to escape with this little trick, you are looking down on my eyes. Sasuke's Sharingan sparkles. Deidara only felt that the huge Sharingan shadow enveloped him. I feel like a small flying insect, unable to escape at all. Since you are a member of the Akatsuki organization, you know where Uchiha Itachi is. Tell me his whereabouts, otherwise Liu Chen will die. Sasuke took a step forward, lightning flashing on his body. Deidara slowly lowered his head. I said, are all you Uchiha brothers like this? Who can show that arrogant look and this cold look? Deidara's eyes widened, looking crazy. Sasuke just stared at him coldly, obviously not taking him seriously at all. Damn, this damn look is so unpleasant. Deidara muttered. Sasuke shook his head slightly and condensed the Chidori light blade in his hand. In this case, I can only cut off your hands and feet first. Hearing this, Deidara raised his head sharply. You dare to deny my art, damn Uchiha, I will definitely make you cool this time. Then, he opened his chest. A ferocious mouth appeared on the chest. Deidara suddenly stuffed the explosive clay into his big mouth. No, what does this guy want to do? Sasuke, stop him quickly. Kakashi and Yamato were both anxious. Looking at Deidara's crazy look, the next move may be no small matter. Sure enough, with the detonation, the clay was absorbed by his body. Deidara's whole body quickly became transparent, and the meridians network all over his body became pitch black. And gradually condensed on the chest, turning into a black sphere. Look carefully, next is my ultimate art. I'm going to blow myself up later, with a radius of 10 kilometers, and everything will be reduced to ashes. This time I will definitely kill you. Ha ha ha, be afraid, despair, cry. Then, marvel at my ultimate art. Deidara laughed maniacally. When Kakashi and Yamato heard this, cold sweat broke out on their foreheads. This, senior, isn't it? The radius is 10 kilometers. It's either hiding or hiding. Yamato looked at Kakashi and the two in panic. Deidara, you are just a flash in the pan after all. Who will remember your so-called art? Sasuke's figure flashed and appeared in front of him. Then he stretched out his hand and grabbed the black sphere. I'll come as soon as I go. After leaving a message to Kakashi and the two, Sasuke disappeared instantly. Flying Thunder God Technique. Sasuke, this guy gave me a false alarm. Kakashi smiled. On the sea, a secluded island. Sasuke teleported here directly. Deidara, just disappear into the corner of the world with your art. Sasuke smiled grimly. After leaving him here, cast the Flying Thunder God Technique again. Whoosh, Sasuke's figure disappeared into thin air. Damn it, no, how can it be? My ultimate art should amaze the world. On the silent sea, only Deidara's desperate voice remained. Immediately afterwards, with the dazzling white light, the terrifying explosion swallowed up everything around it. In the end, only a huge light pillar was left, standing there quietly. HMPH, it's finally solved, if Uchiha Obito wasn't there. Sasuke shook his head slightly. Several coordinates on the sea were used by him to divert some big explosions. Although Deidara's strength is good, it has also reached cage level. But facing Sasuke, his explosive ninjutsu was ineffective. If Sasuke really uses his full strength, he can be killed in a very short time. But in this case, his trump cards and information will be leaked and discovered by Obito. It will be extremely detrimental to future head-on battles with the Akatsuki organization. Obito's Kamui is really difficult to deal with. Sasuke frowned slightly. Even if he learns Flying Thunder God, if he doesn't come into direct contact, the spell will be left on him. It would be difficult for Sasuke to attack him. It seems that we still have to find a way to master the time and space ninjutsu. Whoosh! Sasuke flashed in front of Kakashi again. Sasuke, how are you? Are you okay? Kakashi asked. Don't worry, I have moved the explosion to a no man's land. But, having said that, this guy Deidara is really crazy. He will blow himself up if he disagrees. Sasuke sighed. If you could ask him about Uchiha Itachi's whereabouts, you wouldn't have to go to such trouble. Kakashi and Yamato looked at each other helplessly. Sasuke, this guy was so exciting just now. Deidara said, it would be strange if he didn't retaliate. However, the members of the Akatsuki organization are really scary. If this guy named Deidara succeeds in self-destruction, he can easily destroy the 5 major ninja villages. Yamato sighed. After all, they are all S-class rebel ninjas from various countries, so naturally they will not be simple. Kakashi smiled bitterly. Although the reward for this task is high, it is really not easy to earn. If it weren't for Sasuke, we would have to answer here this time. Just in the middle of a conversation between a few people, Jonin from Yuyan village rushed over with several elite ninjas from the village. 3 of you, how is the situation now? Where is the murderer of the bombing? Has he been caught? Let the daimyo come over. It's safe now. We will report the specific situation to him. Kakashi said to him. Okay. All the ninjas in Tengen village nodded. Just kidding, after seeing Deidara's terrifying strength. The ninjas in Tengen village were almost scared out of their wits. Just like the previous C3 bomb, if Sasuke hadn't successfully transferred it, everyone present might have been blown to ashes. Even the daimyo hiding in the dark was not immune. Their survival depends entirely on these Konoha shinobi practitioners, so they naturally believe in their words. Soon, Daiming Lu Chuan was invited over. Kakashi briefly explained the situation. The Akatsuki organization, the S-class rebels of the Earth Kingdom, so that's what it is. Lu Chuan nodded slightly and said with a smile. Everyone in Konoha, thanks to you this time. Let's go, I have arranged for a banquet, and I must entertain you well. The 3 Kakashi people wanted to refuse, but they couldn't bear Lu Chuan's enthusiasm. So, I could only eat and drink with him. After a long time. As agreed, Lu Chuan brought over a large box full of cash. Everyone, for your hard work, this is your reward. The total is 1.5 billion taels, please accept it. Then thank you, Daimyo-sama. Upon seeing this, Kakashi quickly took out the scroll and sealed the reward inside. Suddenly, Lu Chuan clapped his hands. Soon, another ninja walked up carrying a wooden box. This little brother named Sasuke, you must have saved everyone in Yugakure village. As a thank you, please accept this gift. Lu Chuan said sincerely. Sasuke saw this and smiled. The name of this country of Sichuan is quite good. A slight calculation of these gifts probably amounts to more than 400 to 500 million taels. It just so happens that he needs a large amount of funds. This is the time when Doze is coming to give him a pillow. Sasuke was naturally unceremonious and accepted them all. When Lu Chuan saw this, a smile appeared on his face. Just keep it. It will be convenient to contact you in the future. Seeing how fierce the members of the Akatsuki organization were, I was really frightened. Although this time, with the help of Sasuke and others, I got through it smoothly. But next time, what should we do if we encounter a powerful ninja attack? And being able to connect with Sasuke, a young man with endless potential. It's definitely worth paying a little money. Until dusk. Kakashi 3 people, teammate Lu Haochi. The 3 of them left Yugakure village and came to the forest outside the village, where Sasuke was about to use the Flying Thunder God technique. Suddenly, a black shadow appeared in front of several people. It's surprising that the 4th Hokage only mastered the space-time ninjutsu. I didn't expect you to learn it, Sasuke. The battle with Deidara was brilliant. Obito clapped his hands and stood in front of the 3 of them. It's you. You must be Deidara's former follower. I didn't expect you to dare to show up. Kakashi and Yamato looked surprised. This guy had absolutely no hand in their fight with Deidara. It seems that the strength should not be strong. Unexpectedly, he dared to stop the 3 of them. Senior, capture him just in time and bring him back to Konoha for interrogation. Yamato formed a seal with his hands, stretched out a curved wooden pillar from his hand, and instantly tied up the masked man. Ah, It's Wood Styles ninjutsu. Oops, I got caught. Afei looked surprised. Kakashi looked confused. No matter what, this guy was still a member of the Akatsuki organization. How could he be caught so easily? Sasuke watched silently from the side. Obito clearly wanted to tease them. Sure enough, the next second, Obito's body was penetrated directly from Yamato's wood-style ninjutsu. Haha, just kidding, although my fighting ability is not strong, I am still very good at escaping. It's not that easy for you to catch me. Kakashi and Yamato looked shocked. What happened just now? His body actually passed through wood style. This strange scene left the two of them puzzled. As expected of Shao 070, his ability is even more powerful. Kakashi sighed secretly, and then spoke. Tell me, what is your purpose in coming to us? Obito heard this and laughed. Haha, of course it's to avenge Deidara-senpai. Look at the trick, lizard cloak technique. Obito hung upside down from the big tree, holding his hands together. Be careful, go back quickly. Upon seeing this, Kakashi and Yamato quickly retreated. Sasuke stood there, looking at him coldly. Ah, Sasuke, aren't you going to run away? Obito asked with some confusion. This boring trick should almost be over here. Sharingan appeared in Sasuke's eyes. HMPH, Sasuke, you are worthy of being said. In terms of potential and talent, you are still above Uchiha Itachi. Uchiha Obito's voice is deep. Under his Uzumaki mask, Sharingan also emerges. You. Who are you? Kakashi's eyes widened and cold sweat broke out on his forehead. A member of the Akatsuki organization, and there is Sharingan, is he Uchiha Itachi? Yamato also looked nervous. No, not Uchiha Itachi. Kakashi looked determined. Not long ago, he had fought against Itachi, and it gave him a completely different feeling. What's more, judging from his conversation with Sasuke, it's obvious that he won't be Uchiha Itachi. Who is he? Several clips flashed through Kakashi's mind, and he unconsciously recalled the scene at Kanabi Bridge. Obito, are you? HMPH, Kakashi, you are still so slow. The masked man sneered sarcastically. Sasuke, do you want to know the truth about the night of genocide? Then come with me. At this time, King Ku suddenly looked at Sasuke and said. Then, his figure flashed and quickly rushed into the depths of the forest. The corners of Sasuke's mouth raised slightly. The truth. Sorry, I know better than you. No, Sasuke, don't go, he's dangerous. Kakashi stood in front of Sasuke. He still recognized Sasuke's strength. But the problem is, Sasuke is only a boy of 13 or 14 years old, even if he acts very mature. But daily contact with Sasuke made Kakashi know that. In Sasuke's heart, he can't let go of the hatred of Uchiha being exterminated. Once he comes into contact with such a dangerous and cunning person, he is worried that Sasuke will be bewitched. Don't worry, Kakashi, I want to see what he wants to do. Sasuke left one sentence. Then, he opened the Star Dao Palace and chased Obito at an astonishing speed. Yamato, stop him. Kakashi was startled and shouted quickly. Yes, senior. Yamato quickly cast his ninjutsu. In front of Sasuke, a forest suddenly became twisted and turned into a giant land, wrapping around him fiercely. But thunder and lightning flashed across Sasuke's body, easily shattering all the vines. Then, his figure flashed and disappeared from the eyes of the two people. Oops, suddenly, Kakashi's heart sank. Deep in the forest. Tell me, the truth about the so-called night of genocide. Sasuke stared at Uchiha Obito and said deliberately. He would like to see what kind of medicine Obito sells in the gourd, maybe he can use it. As expected, Sasuke is here. Obito sneered in his heart, this is a good opportunity. Sasuke, do you think that the Uchiha clan was destroyed by Uchiha Itachi? Humph, isn't it? Sasuke said coldly. No, actually back then, Uchiha Itachi was just following orders. The person who actually ordered the destruction of the Uchiha clan was the top brass of Konoha. It's the Hokage respected by Konoha shinobi, and Danzo and others. Obito's voice was cold and he said half-truthfully. Anyway, all the high-level officials of Konoha, including the Hokage, died at the hands of Orochimaru. Dead people can't talk. He simply blamed Sarutobi Hiruzen. No, in fact, Sarutobi Hiruzen's enemy acquiesced. Obito thinks to himself that this is not slander. What's more, if Hokage commits this kind of thing, Sasuke will be hurting Konoha even more. Impossible, how could the third Hokage do such a thing? Sasuke started performing, he said with a deliberately shocked look. Do you think that with my status, I would lie to you? Obito then said, do you know who I am? Sasuke said nothing and looked at him silently. I am none other than Uchiha Madara. PFF'd, ha ha ha, are you kidding? Sasuke couldn't hold it back and burst out laughing. He knows all the truth, and it would be very humorous for Obito to say this again. Sasuke, don't you believe it? Obito asked, not paying attention to Sasuke's ridicule. Nonsense, Uchiha Madara was a character from the first Hokage period and has been dead for who knows how many years. You can't even try to deceive me with your clumsy lies. Sasuke shook his head and said that he did it on purpose. Showing doubt can convince Obito to dispel his doubts. Sure enough, Obito didn't show any abnormality when he saw this. In fact, when he first started to disguise his identity, Nagato, Konan and others also didn't believe him. There's really no way. Upon seeing this, Obito slightly removed half of his mask, revealing his Sharingan. Immediately afterwards, the three Magatama in Sharingan quickly aggregated to form a special pattern. How is it possible that this special pattern is Mangekyo Sharingan? Sasuke acted shocked. Immediately afterwards, his face deliberately showed doubt and uncertainty. In the history of the Uchiha clan, there are only a few people who can activate Mangekyo Sharingan. Sasuke muttered deliberately. Sasuke, how could I, Uchiha Madara, lie to you? Let me tell you a secret, our Uchiha clan are descendants of the Sage of Six Paths, and the source of chakra is a sacred tree. I also found the shell of the sacred tree. With the help of it, I can live for hundreds of years. Obito continued, HMPH, if you were really the legendary Uchiha Madara, then with your power, you should be able to achieve your goal easily. Sasuke said suddenly, I said that I have been able to survive until now with the help of the shell of the sacred tree, and my strength is not as good as it was in my prime. That's why I founded the Akatsuki organization to leverage their power. Obito explained to Sasuke. Sasuke fell silent, seeming to be thinking. When Obito saw this, he secretly thought that if he wanted to win over Sasuke, he had to add fuel to the fire. Sasuke, let me tell you about the history of me, Konoha, and Uchiha. I was born in the Sengoku era. So, Obito began to tell in detail the history of Konoha village, the Sengoku period, and Uchiha Madara. These were all told to him by the real Madara. Of course, when it comes out of his mouth, it is inevitable to add fuel and jealousy to it. At the end, Obito was even more indignant, as if he had been transported into Uchiha Madara. Sasuke, you understand, even Konoha village was founded by Uchiha. But these Konoha ninjas, because they were afraid of Uchiha's power, kept squeezing them out, and finally even joined forces to strangle the Uchiha clan. Everyone in Konoha is a murderer. I, Uchiha Madara, must complete my revenge. And Uchiha Itachi is a spy arranged by Konoha to join the Akatsuki organization, and a traitor to the Uchiha clan. Sasuke seemed to be attracted by his words and seemed to resonate with him. But he was sneering in his heart. This guy really looks like that when he acts. Although, Uchiha Itachi is indeed a traitor, so what do you bring? Not only do you kill your master wife who has no grudges and has always cared about you. Moreover, he also personally participated in the massacre of his tribe. He is simply worse than a beast. Sasuke was silent for a moment, then Uchiha Itachi, I must kill him with my own hands. I really took the bait. Under the mask, Uchiha Obito smiles. I told Sasuke so much not only to brainwash him. More importantly, it is to cause the two brothers to kill each other, thereby solving this troublesome guy. After all, the two had reached an agreement since he joined the Akatsuki organization. Moreover, he kept staring at himself, which prevented many of his actions from being implemented smoothly. If we can get rid of him with the help of Sasuke, it will kill two birds with one stone. Of course, we cannot let go of the traitors of the Uchiha clan. When the time is right, I will tell you where Weasel is. When you complete your revenge on Konoha and rebuild the Uchiha clan, Sasuke, I will assist you in becoming the new clan leader. As the undead soul of Uchiha, I will eventually grow old and pass away. Obito continued to confuse. After a moment of silence, Sasuke showed a cold and terrifying expression. Yes, you were right, we Uchiha want revenge on Konoha. HMPH, finally succeeded. Obito was proud in his heart, but his face remained calm. Haha, with Sasuke's talent, he will surely become an excellent chess piece. Agreement reached. The two looked at each other with smiles on their faces. Of course, one party must be giggling. Sasuke, welcome to join Akatsuki. Obito smiled when he saw that his goal was achieved. Although Deidara died here this time, Sasuke, who was more powerful, was invited to join. It's still a sure profit without loss. Sasuke nodded slightly. But now, I still have to try to avoid contact with you to prevent being discovered by Konoha. It's natural, Obito also said. Sasuke, you must pay attention to Konoha's movements from now on. By the way, you can use them to contact me. Obito thought for a while, and then his mind moved. 4 white Zetsu emerged from the earth and stood respectfully beside Sasuke. The aura of these white Zetsu can be fused with plants, making it difficult for even sensing ninjas to detect. Obito said to Sasuke, "Hey guys, contact me. I'm afraid they weren't sent to monitor me." Although Sasuke guessed his purpose, he nodded calmly. Of course, I will also tell you the information about the Akatsuki organization through the white paper. Obito left one sentence. Then his body slowly sank into the ground and disappeared. Sasuke's mental energy was released, and he also sensed that Obito had indeed left. HMPH, Uchiha Obito, let you live first, and when Uchiha Itachi is solved, you will be next. Sasuke thought to himself. He glanced at the few white Zetsu around him and said, "Hey, follow me quickly." "Yes, Sasuke-sama." The white Zetsu nodded and quickly disappeared into the forest with Sasuke. I said, "How much do you know about that masked man?" On the way, Sasuke suddenly asked white Zetsu. Several white Zetsu looked at each other with dull eyes. "We were created by Master Uchiha Madara using the yin-yang escape technique. We don't know much about him. Lord Sasuke, if you need anything, you can ask him directly." Several white Zetsu spoke one after another. Apparently, like Obito, they planned to deceive Sasuke together. Yeah, suddenly, Sasuke struck fiercely, grabbing a white Zetsu by the neck. At the same time, his speed surged and he quickly appeared in front of the other 3 white Zetsu. A black curse mark appeared on Sasuke's palm, and he slapped their chests hard. "Sasuke-sama, what do you want to do?" Several white Zetsu were caught off guard and were attacked one after another. After all, they are not very powerful and are mainly used for auxiliary functions such as detecting communications and absorbing chakra. "It's nothing, I just left you a little gift and became one of my own." The corners of Sasuke's mouth raised slightly. Soon, the new curse seals on the chests of these 3 Baiju quickly disappeared, quickly devouring their spirits. Soon, the 3 white Zetsu regained their clarity and looked at Sasuke with eyes full of reverence. Sasuke used his curse seal to cover their spirits again. Now these white Zetsu have completely become Sasuke's subordinates. "You are you going to betray Lord Uchiha Madara?" The last white Zetsu, who was choked by Sasuke, spoke with difficulty. "Betrayal? No, I have never been with him. Sooner or later, I will kill him with my own hands." Sasuke sneered and quickly activated Jo Yaluo technique. Soon, the Hashirama cells in white Zetsu's body, including the wood-style blood succession limit, were absorbed into Sasuke's body. "Well, are these Hashirama cells here? It seems to be nothing more than that." Sasuke opened his eyes. As the chakra in his body continues to be refined, and his bloodline revives, Sasuke's sage body has gradually awakened. The chakra in his body is becoming more and more complete, both in terms of accuracy and quantity. White Zetsu's low-end Hashirama power is dispensable to him. However, the power of wood style is an unexpected surprise. Using Senju Hashirama's sage body to perform wood style ninjutsu is extremely powerful. Not only can it easily seal the tailed beast, but it can also kill Uchiha Madara's powerful Susan. After Sasuke awakens, he can do the same, or even go further. What's more, he has more powerful power than Senju Hashirama. By the way, you hide first. Sasuke ordered to the remaining white Zetsu. Soon, he appeared in front of Kakashi alone. Sasuke, are you okay? Where did you go? Kakashi said with a serious face. Sasuke's contact with the mysterious masked man made him a little uneasy. It's nothing, Kakashi, let's go back first. Sasuke shook his head and said. But, that Akatsuki member just now. Don't worry, he can't confuse me, I know his purpose very well. Sasuke smiled slightly. Kakashi was relieved when he saw this. It would be a bad situation if Sasuke was tempted to join the Akatsuki organization. Kakashi knows very well that if Sasuke's talent goes astray, the harm will be too great. Maybe Konoha will be destroyed. Therefore, he was so nervous before, but now it seems that he is okay. Soon, Sasuke used the Flying Thunder God technique and quickly returned to Konoha village. Tisk, sometimes space ninjutsu is really convenient. Kakashi praised. Senior, it's also because the Sasuke chakra is huge, otherwise it would be very difficult to move so far. Yamato said from the side. During this mission, he also saw Sasuke's strength. Lives up to the name of Konoha's genius. Soon, the three people quickly dispersed. Tsunade's office, Sasuke body. He told her about the situation in the kingdom of Kawa this time. You mean, that member of the Akatsuki organization wants to recruit you to join? And, he calls himself Uchiha Madara. Then what? Tsunade was a little surprised and asked hurriedly. I pretended to agree to him so that I could get closer to them. Well, this is indeed good. Tsunade touched his chin. The members of the Akatsuki organization were mysterious and possessed special skills. It was not easy to search for them. But Sasuke, you're so awesome. Killed Deidara this time, as well as Hidan and Kakuzu last time. There are 3 people in the Akatsuki organization, and they are in the hands of Sasuke. The person who calls himself Uchiha Madara may make big moves in the near future. Tsunade, come with me. Sasuke thought for a while and decided to give Tsunade and Yuhihong the celestial body Dao mark. So, he used Flying Thunder God to take Tsunade into the secret base he transformed. What's going on? It's so mysterious, Tsunade teased. Well, take off your clothes first. As soon as Sasuke opened his mouth, Tsunade was shocked. Looking at the quiet environment around me. Sasuke, you don't want to cause trouble. She seemed to have thought of something and her face blushed slightly. Hey, where did you think you were? Sasuke pouted, please, don't always think about Ceci. Tsunade knew that he would be wrong. His face turned red and he lowered his head in embarrassment. It's all your fault for telling me to take off my clothes. Tsunade glared at him. You still remember my previous battle with Orochimaru? Tsunade was startled and nodded slightly. At the end of that battle, Orochimaru used the Yamada technique, which was so powerful that even Tsunade was frightened. But mysterious golden lines appeared on Sasuke's body, and his strength surged. He actually killed the Yamada no Orochi in 2 moves, which almost shocked her jaw. It was also the strength that Sasuke showed in this battle that made Tsunade feel extremely at ease. For that last move, I relied on the power of nature to achieve that kind of power. Sasuke smiled slightly and explained to her. Power of nature, could it be Sage Mode? Tsunade knew very well that Jiraiya, also one of the Sannin, learned Sage Mode at Mount Myoboku. After he used Sage Mode, his power in both ninjutsu and taijutsu was greatly improved. It's really similar to Sasuke's move. But, Sasuke gave him a different feeling. The power is even more terrifying. Moreover, there is an air of nobility that is difficult to describe. It seems that the moves performed by Sasuke represent the power of heaven and earth. The feeling of oppression is full and frightening. Not Sage Mode, but essentially something. Sasuke shook his head slightly. Besides, this trick is much easier to learn than Sage Mode. When Tsunade heard this, his eyes suddenly lit up. Could it be that Sasuke just wants to teach himself this trick? Her heart was pounding, and she hugged Sasuke and kissed him hard. Ahem, calm down. Sasuke was a little confused about Tsunade's sudden intimacy. Tsunade, adjust your breathing first and calm down, I will guide you to carve the Dao pattern. The 2 of them sat cross-legged. Sasuke's mental power invades Tsunade's mind and gradually merges with her. Then, He guided Tsunade and slowly started to carve the pattern from his forehead. One day later, Sasuke was a little stunned when he looked at Tsunade, who had mysterious golden lines on his forehead and a noble look on his face. Because he found that the immortal body pattern used by Tsunade was relatively close to his. The effect is probably similar to Jiraiya's Sage Mode, which is not particularly perfect. How is this going? Sasuke thought for a moment and vaguely understood. Tsunade is the granddaughter of Senju Hashirama and a descendant of the Senju clan. Although she doesn't have a true sage body like Hashirama. But just like the Uzumaki clan, they have inherited a bit of immortality. The Tao pattern was tailor-made by Sasuke for his own awakening. Therefore, the effect of Tsunade's move is surprisingly good. However, Tsunade and the others can only do this at best. When Sasuke fully awakens his sage body and his physical body reaches a certain level, at that time, you will be able to enter Immortal Body Tao Pattern Hyphenation Point State 2. Thus showing even more terrifying power. This is also a model unique to Sasuke, the founder. Soon, Tsunade's eyelids trembled slightly and he slowly opened his eyes. This is my power. Tsunade looked at the golden lines on his body and was completely stunned. At this moment, she could feel the endless power in her body. 10 times stronger than before, or even more. Sasuke, thank you. Tsunade hugged him gently and whispered in his ear. As a Hokage, she felt a little uneasy when facing endless powerful enemies. Tsunade knows very well that compared to previous generations of Hokage, her strength is relatively lacking. Now, she is convinced. I have the power to protect Konoha. Thanks for watching, please like and subscribe. Welcome to Fantasy Audiobook, Comprehension Heaven-Defying, Rebirth Sasuke, Revitalization. Chapter 91. In the secret base, Tsunade hugged Sasuke tightly. Sasuke felt Tsunade's enthusiasm and a smile appeared on his lips. After a long time, ahem, Tsunade, if you don't let go, I will be suffocated to death. Sasuke coughed slightly. Tsunade heard this and quickly let go of Sasuke. Are you okay? I'm so excited. As a ninja, who doesn't yearn for powerful power? Not to mention the leader of Konoha village, 5th Hokage. And the skills Sasuke taught her made her many times stronger than before in just one night. The excitement in Tsunade's heart is difficult to express in words. Well, it's really an exaggeration. Just holding her can actually make me suffocated. Sasuke glanced at Tsunade's chest and murmured to himself. When Tsunade heard this, a blush appeared on his face, and even the roots of his ears turned red. I can't help it, this is what I was born with. Tsunade lowered his head and whispered like a mosquito ship. Woman, I'm just kidding, it's too late for others to envy you. Sasuke saw this and whispered in her ear. Just kidding, with a figure like Tsunade's, you can't feel inferior. By the way, Sasuke, and Yuhi Kurenai, are you going to pass this trick on to her? Tsunade suddenly looked up and asked. As his good sister, Tsunade has not forgotten her either. After all, she was the one who dragged Yuhi Hong into the water in the first place. Well, that makes sense. I'll come as soon as I go. Hey, Sasuke, wait a minute. He was about to leave, but was stopped by Tsunade. As Hokage, I still have many things to deal with. I can't stay here forever. You can send me back first. Tsunade said hurriedly. She has disappeared for a day, and if she doesn't show up again, it will make other people worried. Soon, Sasuke brought Yuhi Kurenai over. Afterwards, Sasuke told her the general story. Teacher Hong, do you want it? Sasuke smiled playfully. What, a trick that can absorb natural energy? When Xiong Hong heard this, her beautiful eyes suddenly lit up. This is great, a trick that can greatly increase your strength. She wants it too. Especially when she heard that Tsunade also got it, her determination became even stronger. Yes, of course, Yuhi Hong said impatiently. Well, okay, take off your clothes then. Sasuke spoke. Ah, Sunset Hong was stunned. Sasuke didn't say this just now. Although, last time she was confused with Sasuke. But now, he is not drunk. Sunset Hong's face turned slightly red when she thought of this. Well, Mr. Hokage just now. Well, Tsunade is much more free and easygoing than you. Okay, I get it. She said softly, and then slowly untied the bandage. Sasuke's eyes showed admiration. Well, she's really beautiful. In fact, with his strong mental power, Yi poses little obstacle to him. But, don't take advantage of me, bastard. Moreover, I am doing this for better results. Sasuke thought shamelessly in his heart. Zirahong took a long time to get ready. Oh, Teacher Hong, be brave, they are all very open-minded. Sasuke muttered. Them, okay, Sasuke, besides me and Hokage-sama, do you have anyone else? Tell me, are you urging me? Yuhi Hong rolled her eyes at him resentfully and said jealously. It's 5th Mizukage, Terumi Mei, she's much bolder than you. Sasuke whispered into his ear. Ah, this. Yuhi Hong was confused again. Besides Hokage, Mizukage, Sasuke's charm is too great. In addition to her, is there anyone else? Yuhi Hong asked tastefully. A Mizukage, a Hokage, wouldn't it be impossible for me to even be the second child? Well, it's gone for now. Sasuke said. Temporarily, Yuhi Hong glared. What, Kurenai-sensei, are you able to revitalize the Uchiha clan? Sasuke said with an evil look on his face. Forehead. Yuhi Hong thought for a while, and it seemed like this was the case. To revitalize a large ninja clan, how can 1 or 2 women alone be enough? Okay, I get it. Yuhi Hong whispered that she was convinced by Sasuke. Teacher Hong, actually you are not bad at all, you are just too shy. Sasuke said with a smile. He couldn't help but want to tease a gentle little sheep like Yuhi Hong. How could you do this to a teacher? Yuhi Hong pouted and said. Okay, let's get down to business, I'll come now. Half a day later, Sasuke successfully guided Yuhi Hong to carve the path pattern. Compared to Tsunade, Yuhi Hong's dot patterns are much sparser. Sasuke estimated that the increase was roughly equivalent to the second state of the heavenly curse seal. However, this can also greatly improve her strength. Yuhi Hong also tried it out. After she used the Dao pattern, she was surprised to find that her illusion was much more powerful. Even the power of taijutsu and ninjutsu is completely different from before. In this state, Kurenai Yuhi also has strength close to cage level. Sasuke, you have the final say in everything from now on. Yuhi Kurenai felt the increase in her strength and said to Sasuke with a look of surprise. With just this skill, Sasuke is destined not to be a creature in the pool. It can greatly improve the strength of ninjas without any side effects. She was simply unheard of. Sasuke smiled. Sure enough, women are fickle. Sasuke saw Kurenai looking so happy. He decided that in the future, all his women could consider being given Taoist patterns. As for his subordinates, they use the newly developed curse seal to control them. In this way, he can gradually encroach on the major forces in the ninja world and finally reach the top. The next period of time, Sasuke took a rare moment to relax. Most of the time, he practiced freely. After all, with Sasuke's strength, there is no need for him to take action on ordinary tasks. Tsunade also couldn't bear to leave Sasuke because he was too tired. Naturally, Sasuke relaxed. Of course, although he was resting during this period, his men were not idle. Under Sasuke's orders, they are all looking for traces of the tailed beasts and Uchiha Itachi. Occasionally, Sasuke will let White Zetsu, who is controlled by the curse seal, contact Uchiha Obito. I want this guy Obito to reveal the traces of Uchiha Itachi. However, several times in a row, Obito was perfunctory. Sasuke was very dissatisfied with this. However, he could also guess what Daicho was thinking. First, it is nothing more than worry that Sasuke is young and not a match for Uchiha Itachi. We met so quickly, once Sasuke loses and is killed by him, then Obito's previous efforts will be in vain. The second point is that he probably wants to continue to use Itachi and let him work in the Akatsuki organization. After all, although Itachi was a spy sent by Konoha, his immediate boss, Konoha F4, was already dead. No one knew his identity at all. And he is still a member of the Akatsuki organization in name, and he must contribute no less to what he should do for the organization. Obito, what a cunning guy. Sasuke couldn't help but think to Chunin. Now that he has some free time, Sasuke also decided to learn more about wood-style ninjutsu. Wood-style ninjutsu is very powerful. More importantly, wood style is very effective in controlling tailed beasts, and you will inevitably need to use it in the future. Sasuke has only collected 1 or 2 3-tails chakras so far. 8 tails and 9 tails are easy. After all, 8 tails Killer Bee has been ordered by Raikage to stay in Cloud Canyon. As for Naruto, sooner or later he will return to Konoha. It is not difficult for Sasuke to obtain the chakra of these 2-tailed beasts. As for the other tailed beasts, it will be troublesome. In the Hokage world, technology development is very average. Finding Jinchuriki is like finding a needle in a haystack. Sasuke doesn't have any good options at the moment. But if you learn wood style, it will be much easier to face the tailed beast. Well, speaking of Jinchuriki, I haven't seen you wooden golem for a long time. Sasuke thought for a while and created a shadow clone. Finally, he was sent to Kurigakure. After finding Terumi-me, Sasuke first told what happened recently. Calling yourself Uchiha Madara, you're saying that this hateful guy is probably the murderer who controls Yagura. After hearing this, Terumi-me gritted her teeth and said, "This guy is primarily responsible for the bloody incidents that have occurred in Kurigakure over the years." Sasuke nodded slightly. After all, Nohara-rin was made into 3-tails Jinchuriki by the real Uchiha Madara and died in front of Obito. The one who took action was Anbu, who was hiding in the garden. It's no wonder Obito hates Kurigakure so much. Therefore, for so many years, he has been secretly controlling Yagura and constantly attacking Kurigakure. "Sasuke, how do you chant?" Terumi-me looked at Sasuke and asked. "Keep him first. Whether Qian Nujao is searching for the tailed beast or Uchiha Itachi, he has to rely on his intelligence." Sasuke spoke. "In fact, there is another point. Obito's Kamui is too slippery and it is not easy to catch. By the way, where's the wooden golem?" Sasuke asked Terumi-me. "Why didn't you see her?" "HMPH, you philandering guy, are you going to find that beautiful Jinchuriki as soon as you come here? Do you still have me in your heart?" Terumi-me put her hands on her chest and said angrily. "Hey, don't be angry. You see, you get more wrinkles when you are angry." Seeing this, Sasuke could only comfort her. "Humph, you'd better go find your sweetheart. In addition to the beautiful Jinchuriki, there's also that red-haired guy." Terumi-me turned her head and said, "Oh, women, what a troublesome thing." Sasuke can finally feel a little bit of his emotions now. "Is this how you comfort people?" Terumi-me rolled her eyes at him and snorted. "Then, what do you want?" Sasuke was a little puzzled. "Idiot, that one," Terumi-me said with a blushing face. Sasuke saw her shy look and understood instantly. "Ah, woman, you really don't mean what you say." So, Sasuke hugged her and walked into the sleeping room. Hey, when there are too many women, it's really a trouble for happiness. After Sasuke is done, Heart Chunin couldn't help but sigh. The following few days, Sasuke's shadow clone stayed in Kurigakure and had a good exchange with Wooden Golem. In particular, Sasuke shared his methods and experiences in communicating with tailed beasts. Surprised by Wooden Golem, "Sasuke, are you telling the truth? Can you communicate with the spirit of the tailed beast through the method you mentioned, and finally become a perfect Jinchuriki?" By Wooden Golem looked at Sasuke with burning eyes. Certainly, Sasuke nodded slightly. This was the method used by Naruto in the original work. Even Nine Tails, who is known as the incarnation of hatred, can gradually be influenced and become a partner. He believed that the two-tailed cat Matata could definitely connect with Wooden Golem. "But, I want to communicate with the spirit of the second tail. If it refuses, what should I do?" said by Wooden Golem with some embarrassment. Tailed beasts, due to their long-term experience, naturally distrust humans. It is not so easy to finally realize the spiritual connection and power resonance with it and become the perfect Jinchuriki. "Don't worry, I will guide you from the beginning." Sasuke smiled. With his powerful mental power and Sharingan's eye power, he can naturally force his way into Erwei's spiritual world. Just like how Eight Tails Killer Bee helped Naruto. With Sasuke's current strength, it will only be easier to help Wooden Golem. So, with Sasuke's help, the two people's spiritual worlds began to blend. Looking at the handsome and powerful Sasuke, the eyes of the two Wooden Golem gradually became blurred. A dark underground stronghold. The remaining members of the Akatsuki organization gathered together. "Chief, you summoned us so quickly, what's the matter? Itachi and I are searching for 4 tails. I think we will find them soon. Hoshigaki Kisame said slowly. Deidara is dead. As Tiandao Pain spoke, there was a brief silence in the stronghold. How did this guy die? Although his understanding of art is very different, he is still a good companion. Red Sand Scorpion said in a low voice. Although, Deidara has only joined the organization not long ago. But in the Akatsuki organization, only Deidara understands art. Only he can discuss art with himself. Alas, Deidara Senpai was killed by people from Konoha. I also managed to escape from the hands of the Konoha shinobi with great difficulty. At this time, Afei spoke. Since Kakuzu Senpai disappeared, our Akatsuki organization has had some financial problems. Deidara Senpai, I originally wanted to use my ninjutsu to make money. Afei continued to sigh. It's a pity that even his last art has not been seen by the world. Really, that boy Deidara's personality is quite to my liking. The dried persimmon Kisame had a look of regret on his face. His cheerful personality rarely adds a little vitality to this gloomy organization. What should we do next? At this time, Uchiha Itachi looked at Tendo Pain. Well, let's continue with the plan. You and Kisame will capture 4 tails first. Scorpion, how is your spy's infiltration going? Pain asked. Well, we are ready and can take action at any time. Red Sand Scorpion said. Well, then 1 tail Shukaku will shoot you. Pain nodded slightly. Next, let's break up the meeting. I'm going to remember Deidara. He has done a great job in everything he has done since he joined the organization. Alas, the number of people in our organization is getting smaller and smaller now. Hoshigaki Kisame sighed. Senior, please let me become a formal member. Afei on the side suddenly said. You, forget it. Pain left a sentence and disappeared quickly. Afei, you have to work harder. FB. Soon, everyone disappeared. The land of wind. This is a country that is eroded by wind and sand all year round and is full of deserts. Sunagakur. Due to the influence of the natural environment, sand and dust are flying here, and the shapes of the buildings are very heavy. Gaara stood on the high tower and silently observed the village. Since the battle with Sasuke, he has deeply felt the opponent's power. During this time, he often thought alone. He gradually understood that the power of the tailed beast was undoubtedly a double-edged sword. Over the years, his father Luo Sha's control and testing of him has inspired the tailed beast's most evil side. This caused him to be surrounded by hatred, and eventually he lost control. But over the past few months, Gaara has gradually sobered up. In the village, Gaara showed strength and changed her attitude towards others. He also gradually gained recognition from everyone and gradually established his prestige. Suddenly, Baki walked up behind him. Gaara, no, Kazekage-sama, the Jonin meeting in the village has decided that you will be the 5th Kazekage. Sunagakur, since 4th Kazekage Rasa was killed by Orochimaru in a sneak attack. There has been no Kazekage for a long time. Of course, the main reason is that there is no suitable candidate. The younger generation is weak and has not yet grown up. The older generation, the elite ninjas, were killed in battles with Konoha and other ninja villages. This causes them to be embarrassed. In such a big village, I couldn't even choose a single Kazekage. Fortunately, Gaara's performance in the past few months has been recognized by most people in the village. Therefore, the village's senior leaders unanimously decided after a meeting to let him serve as the 5th Kazekage. Teacher, you don't have to be like this. Gaara turned around and said with a frown. Gaara, maybe you were once my student, but now you are the Kazekage. You, are the leader of our village, so naturally you can't be the same as before. Baki said with some respect. By the way, today, the elders in the village formally announced the news to everyone. Lord Gaara, I hope you are ready. Gaara nodded helplessly. I see. In the sandy desert, the red sand scorpion controlled Fei Liuhu and slowly advanced in the desert, leaving a long drag mark. In the distance ahead, a village can be vaguely seen standing in the desert. Sunagakur, I haven't come back for a long time since I left. Now, the time has come. Fei Liuhu sneered and activated the ninjutsu at the same time. Sunagakur's Jonin meeting. Gaara took the cloak that symbolized the Kazekage. A group of elite ninjas in the meeting smiled when they saw this. After such a long time, Sunagaku finally welcomed a new cage. At this moment, Yuliang in the picture above suddenly covered his head. Yura, what's wrong with you? Konkuro on the side was a little confused. No. It's nothing. I feel a little uncomfortable, so I'll leave first. Yura stood up and left quietly. At this time, Konkuro frowned. Sunagaku Gate. In a narrow rock passage. Several ninjas were staring ahead carefully. As the guard ninjas of Sunagaku, they must always perform their duties and prevent enemy invasion. At this time, they saw a hunched figure not far away approaching quickly. Suddenly, Yura jumped several times and came to these guarding ninjas. Captain Yura, who is that? Before they finished speaking, Yuliang suddenly waved the sharp blade in his hand. Poof! Blood splatters. These guarding ninjas were killed without warning in an instant. That's my master. Yuliang licked the blood from the corner of his mouth and jumped off the platform. He came to the red sand scorpion and knelt down on one knee. Well done, your memory has been restored. The red sand scorpion said slowly. Before he left Sunagaku, he used the ninjutsu of subtle brain manipulation to seal Yura's memory. Subsequently, Shie ordered him to continue lurking in Sunagaku and wait for orders. Now, it finally comes in handy. One-tail Shukaku is still in the village. Yes, Master, Jinchuriki Gaara just took office as the cage today. Really, it's really interesting. The red sand scorpion sneered. I didn't expect that this time my opponent would be Feng Ying again. Yura, you hateful traitor. At this moment, Konkuro appeared with a puppet and shouted. Let me just say, at this important moment of assuming the position of Feng Ying, you were in a hurry to leave. It is as expected. Konkuro looked at the dead ninja and gritted his teeth. It seems that your actions have been noticed. Fei Liu, who raised his head, well, he turned out to be a puppet master, which is kind of interesting. However, it's a bit stupid to chase me alone. Konkuro naturally heard the comments from the red sand scorpion. HMPH, that's not a bad tone. I want to see what strength you have. Seeing Julong flicking his hands, two puppets appeared under his control. Click, click, click. The puppet mechanism sounded, and the crow and the black ant, these two mechanism puppets, quickly attacked the two of them. Fei Liu, who stayed where he was and looked at him coldly. What? How dare you look down on me? Kanju was immediately furious. With this look, he clearly didn't take him seriously. One arm of the puppet crow fell off, revealing a blade that shone with cold light, and quickly stabbed the bat. However, Fei Liu, who flicked his broad tail and easily blocked the attack of the puppet crow. Seeing this, Konkuro flicked his fingers and the puppet crow quickly decomposed. And turned into many mechanisms, under his control, attacked the two people in strange arcs. Fei Liu, who flicked his tail, easily waiting for all attacks. Even a forward stab of the broad tail can smash the puppet crow to pieces. How can it be? Konkuro's eyes widened. The guy across from him could see the crow's weakness at a glance. I remember still using this outdated puppet. Sunagaku's puppet master really hasn't made any progress. The red sand scorpion's slightly sarcastic voice came. At this time, the black ant that had sneaked into the sand suddenly appeared. It opened its broad abdomen and wanted to swallow the two of them. Click. A single attack from Hirauko completely shattered Konkuro's puppet. As a puppet master, you are too weak. Hiruko's sharp tail struck, and Konkuro, who was in shock, had no time to dodge and was stabbed in the abdomen. In an instant, Konkuro felt paralyzed all over and his body kept moving. Poison, such a strong poison, who is this guy? Seeing Kuro staring at him unwillingly. Boy, don't use these puppets to deal with me. After all, they were made by me. The words of the red sand scorpion shocked Konkuro. Konkuro struggled to get up. You are the scorpion of red sand. As a traitor to sand shinobi, how dare you come back? Konkuro didn't expect that the person in front of him turned out to be Sunagaku's leading puppet master. No wonder, his puppet crows and black ants are so vulnerable in front of him. HMPH, if it wasn't for a mission, I wouldn't bother to go back to this rotten village. The red sand scorpion had a deep voice. Ahem. Suddenly, Konkuro started bleeding from the corner of his mouth and coughed violently. Immediately afterwards, his body went limp and fell to the ground. I forgot to mention that all my weapons are extremely poisonous. HMPH, you will definitely not survive for 3 days after being poisoned by me. However, as a puppet master, I'd better send you on your way now. The sharp tail of Hirauko stabbed Kankuro fiercely, trying to take his body away. At this moment, the sand on the ground suddenly rose up and turned into a sand wall to block its attack. Who is it? Fei Liu, who slowly turned his head. Gaara was suspended in midair, staring at him coldly. Master, he is Jinchuriki of One Tail, Gaara of the 5th Cage Sand. Yura whispered. Cage, he is such a little devil. Sunagaku really has no successor. The red sand scorpion's tone was full of ridicule. Originally, Sunagaku, who was said to be able to stand shoulder to shoulder with Konoha, was powerful. It really disappoints him to be so weak now. Kankuro, you are too reckless. Seeing his miserable state, Gaara frowned. If he hadn't noticed, Kankuro quietly followed Yura out and ran out. He felt something strange and came out to check. I'm afraid that now, he has died in Shia's hands. Gaara, be careful, this guy is a scorpion, a red sand scorpion. Don't get hurt fighting him, he's poisonous. Kankuro reminded weakly. Scorpion's strength is comparable to Feng Ying. Gaara is not weak in strength, but he is still young, so it may be very dangerous to face him. No, we must notify other ninjas in the village to come. Kankuro gritted his teeth, and a signal bomb shot into the sky from the broken puppet crow. HMPH, so I wanted to call for reinforcements. Shie sneered. He didn't think anyone in this kind of village could threaten him. Gaara waved her hand. The big khaki hands made of sand gently grabbed Kankuro and put him behind. To deal with Sunagaku's traitors, the Cage, have had enough. Gaara stepped on the sandballs and slowly descended from midair. Suddenly, Fei Liu who opened its mouth suddenly, and countless sharp poisonous needles shot out from its mouth. The target is Gaara. Tisk. The sand behind Gaara quickly formed a sand wall, blocking him. The sharp poisonous needles pierced the sand wall, but they couldn't penetrate me at all. Ha, the ninjutsu that controls Sanako. Shie hid in the amber and observed silently. Master, this is Gaara's sand shield. It was left behind by his mother after her death. It has nothing to do with Gaara's consciousness and will automatically defend. Yuliang reminded him from the side. Damn traitor, Gaara, kill him. Kankuro not far away spoke hurriedly. As a Jonin in the village, Yura knew the information here very well. If he continues, Gaara's details will be revealed to Shie. Gaara frowned. A large amount of sand formed shurikens in midair, and shot downward fiercely. Be careful and hide behind me. Shia's voice came out, and Fei Liu whose huge steel tail blocked their front. Clang clang clang. Sand and steel collide and sparks fly. At this moment, the sand under the two men suddenly surged and turned into big hands grabbing at them. When Shie flashed a hint of surprise, and controlled Fei Liuhu to jump sharply and dodge the attack. But Yura's speed slowed down, and he was caught by the falling sand. No, master, please save me. As soon as Yura shouted, a large amount of sand spread quickly, covering his whole body and forming a ball of sand. Sand-bound coffin. Gaara reached out and grabbed it hard. Blood splattered and the screams stopped abruptly. This is what you get for betraying Sunagaku. Gaara stared at the red sand scorpion and said slowly. I see, after the sand that was attacked just now was shattered, chakra mixed into the surrounding sand. Scorpion ignored the dead Yuliang, and instead silently analyzed the information. He gradually understood Gaara's ninjutsu. Interesting, your moves seem very similar to third Cage, but unfortunately. HMPH, even the so-called strongest third Cage died in my hands, let alone a brat like you. Scorpion said with a sneer. Gaara and Kankuro heard this and their pupils shrank. Asshole, how dare you? Kankuro stared at him hard. Decades ago, third Cage disappeared for no apparent reason, arousing suspicion among the people in the village. Unexpectedly, he died in the hands of the red sand scorpion. It seems that ordinary puppet mechanisms may be useless to you. The red sand scorpion jumped out from Fei Liuhu's body. Under the black robe with a red cloud pattern, his young and handsome face was revealed. How is it possible? How could he be so young? Kankuro was in disbelief. The scorpion of red sand is a well-known figure for a long time, at least from the generation of fourth Cage. But the scorpion in front of him looked like a boy in his teens at best. Gaara also frowned. I saw Xie taking out a scroll from his back. After opening it, it was written clearly, 3. Well, let me show you my most powerful work of art, the third case cage. With a bang. In the scroll, third case cage, who was dressed in sackcloth and turned into a puppet, slowly appeared. Go, hit the sand with Shigur. Gaara waved his hand, and a large number of round sand bullets shot out like bullets. Magnet-style Satetsu Shigur. Scorpion controls the third case cage puppet, and a large amount of black iron sand gathers in front of him. It also shot through like a bullet. Bang bang bang. The two collided head-on, turning into countless iron sand and yellow sand scattered around. At this time, Baki rushed over quickly with a large number of ninjas. That is, third case cage. How is it possible? Lord Third Case Cage hasn't been missing for a long time. But this is clearly his blood-stained Blood Realm magnet style. This scene shocked the ninjas of Sand Shinobi. No, this is a human puppet. Damn Scorpion, of course, to Gaaraman. Baki reacted. In the entire ninja world, the puppet master who can make human puppets is the Red Sand Scorpion, human. Quick, let's go there and help Gaara. Under Baki's orders. A large number of ninjas rushed to the battlefield with weapons in hand. There are so many ignorant guys coming to die again. Xie noticed this scene and his eyes were cold. With a thought in his mind, a circular machine cannon was ejected from Fei Liuhu's left arm below. No, you should retreat quickly. Gaara's expression changed and she shouted down. The next second, a large number of wooden cylinders were sprayed out from the machine cannon and then exploded. Densely packed poisonous needles were fired at the attacking ninjas. Gaara waved his hand, and a large amount of sand from the ground rose into the air, blocking these ninjas. Da da da. It was like the sound of rain hitting banana trees. Poisonous needles shot into the gauze wall, but they could not penetrate. Many Sand Shinobi ninjas fell to the ground in embarrassment. Got saved. That's great, Master Case Cage saved us. Damn it, who is the enemy? All the Sand Shinobi ninjas breathed a sigh of relief. Just now, the range of the move Scorpion performed was too large. Moreover, the attack speed was so fast that they had no time to dodge. If it weren't for Gaara, I'm afraid many people here would be tricked. The poisonous needles of such a powerful puppet master make people tremble with fear and fear. How dare you get distracted while fighting me? At this time, a large amount of iron sand condensed in front of the third case cage puppet and turned into a sharp black spear. With a sharp whistling sound, love me. The sand behind Gaara automatically flashed to help him block the attack. When the red sand scorpion in the distance saw this, it smiled. The next second, the black sand iron decomposed instantly and quickly mixed with Gaara's sand. What? Gaara immediately discovered that the sand left behind by her mother became very slow. HMPH, mixed with heavy sand and iron, your sand shield will slow down. The red sand scorpion said slowly. And, with third case cage's magnet style, your sand can't escape. Go. The red sand scorpion waved his hand. The remaining large amount of sand iron quickly condensed and turned into a huge black triangular pyramid. It spun and slammed into Gaara with terrifying power. Gaara's body fell rapidly. At the same time, it was difficult to control the sand in front of him. Bang! The violent impact shattered the sand he controlled. The person was hit by sand and iron and fell heavily to the ground. He climbed up with difficulty and wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth. Damn it, third case cage's ninjutsu is really. Gaara raised his head and looked at the floating wind shadow puppet. Magnet-style sand iron is very restrained with his sand, and the ninjas around him need protection. Baki, tell these ninjas to return to the village. Gaara whispered. In his battle with the Crimson Sand Scorpion, they were basically of no help. Instead, it will become a burden to him. But, Gaara, you are Feng Yang, we must protect you, even if it means sacrificing our lives. Don't make unnecessary sacrifices, leave quickly. Gaara interrupted. Haha, what a touching bond. When Xie saw this scene, a cruel smile appeared on his face. It's a pity that I severed these so-called bonds a long time ago, and the group has become even more fishy. Go to hell, magnet style, sand iron boundary method. As he controlled the wind shadow puppet, a large amount of sand and iron condensed in the air. Immediately afterwards, it turned into a large enchantment with long thorns, piercing downwards suddenly. Not good. Gaara was shocked. He controlled the sand underground with all his strength and quickly flew into the air. We must catch up. Boom. The huge yellow sand ball blocked everyone's heads and supported the end of the black sand iron. Well done, but unfortunately, you are finished. The next second, the unsuspecting Gaara herself. Then he was hit by sand iron bullets fired at extremely high speed from all around. Click. The sand armor on Gaara's body shattered. Blood seeped out. Gaara gasped and slowly fell to the ground. Damn it, there's obviously an armor of sand blocking it. Gaara struggled to get up, but her whole body seemed to have lost strength. Haha, the winner has been decided. I should have told you that all my weapons are highly poisonous. You stupid guy, you dare to devote your energy to protecting these weaklings. The red sand scorpion shook his head slightly. Gaara's strength is not as good as him. In a duel between masters, the outcome is often decided in an instant. Gaara dares to share his strength, he is simply seeking death. Lord Kazekage. The sand shinobi ninjas were a little panicked. Gaara is undoubtedly the #1 master of Sunagakur. Now, even he has fallen. This terrible enemy, HMPH, don't worry, I have no interest in weaklings like you. Jinchuriki is all I need. Scorpio spoke, and at the same time, the iron sand flew out and gradually enveloped Gaara. Then he took him to the sky. Gaara wanted to struggle, but under the influence of the poison, even chakra couldn't control it. There is no struggle. Damn it, you can't even think of taking Feng Ying away. When Baki saw this, his face showed anger. He condensed the wind blade in the palm of his 307 and shot it at the red sand scorpion at extremely high speed. Dang dang. The black sand iron turned into a wall, easily blocking attacks. You're really looking for death. Although I'm too lazy to take action, I don't mind F-king you to death. The red sand scorpion looked indifferent. He controlled the sand and iron to condense into a black cube again, and slammed it downwards. Boom. A huge crater was made on the ground, filled with smoke and dust. Wait until the smoke clears. Everyone in Sunagakur discovered that Oyster had already left with Gaara. Damn scorpion, he actually attacked Feng Ying again and again. Baki punched the surrounding stone wall hard. But facing the powerful scorpion, although he was angry, he still couldn't stand it. He could only watch Gaara being taken away by him. Quickly, inform Konoha of the situation here quickly. Also, if the scorpion attacks the village and kidnaps Gaara, immediately tell Granny Chio. Baki immediately ordered his men, we must not let him take the cage away from the land of wind. Yes, Master Baki. A group of Sunagakur ninjas responded immediately. Soon, a very fast flying eagle set off from Sunagakur and flew into the distance. Soon, Konoha village, Hokage office. Tsunade was suddenly awakened by a rapid knock on the door. Shizune opened the door and said eagerly, Tsunade-sama, this is a secret document sent from Sunagakur, it is the highest level. Oh, show me. Tsunade was a little surprised. Under normal circumstances, nothing so urgent would happen in the village. Soon, Tsunade opened the secret document. The content above made her frown. Tsunade-sama, what's wrong? Did something big happen to Sunagakur? Shizune asked with some confusion. Well, the situation is very complicated, see for yourself. Tsunade handed the file to her casually. The Akatsuki organization is so bold. She took a long breath and sighed. He actually kidnapped Kazekage in front of everyone in Sunagakur. For Sunagakur, this is a huge shame. The red sand scorpion is really a powerful puppet master. Tsunade frowned slightly, the main content of the letter from Sunagakur. The first is to ask for help from Konoha. Help them recapture Gaara before Scorpion leaves the borders of the Kingdom of Wind completely. The second is to detoxify, and ask Tsunade to take action. In addition to Kankuro and Gaara, other ninjas in Sunagakur were also affected in the battle. They were injured by iron sand and were poisoned by scorpions. Sunagakur was unable to deal with the scorpion's poison, so he had no choice but to seek help from Tsunade, a famous medical ninja in the ninja world who was also a Hokage. Otherwise, many ninjas in Sunagakur will be poisoned and die within 3 days. Tsunade-sama, what should we do now? Shizune asked. Tsunade is the Hokage of Konoha and cannot leave the village casually. After all, there are still many things to deal with. There's no other way, I'll take action myself. Sand Shinobi is an ally of Konoha after all. Tsunade stood up. Like little Sakura, although she has good talent. But I just learned medical ninjutsu from her not long ago, so I will definitely not be able to solve it. As for Shizune, the talent is a bit lacking. Only a small portion of her medical numbers were learned. Moreover, this time the real picture helps Tsunagaku solve the crisis. Enough to bring the relationship between the two villages further. Tsunagaku is also equivalent to owing Konoha a big favor. By the way, where is Sasuke? Where is he now? Tsunade asked suddenly. Sasuke can use Flying Thunder God to save a lot of time even if he can't go straight to Sand Shinobi. He has left the village now. I don't know where he went specifically. Shizune whispered. However, Tsunade-sama, Sasuke left behind his summoning beast Thunder Eagle. Sasuke said that if anything happens, you can find him through Lei. Tsunade frowned slightly. Forget it, I'd better go there myself. Shizune, let Shikaku and the others take charge of Konoha's affairs for the time being. I'll be back soon. After leaving a few words, she left quickly. Soon, Tsunade sat on the Thunder Condor and rushed towards Tsunagaku. Lei Ling, I didn't expect you to be so fast. Feeling the howling wind, Tsunade patted the Thunder Eagle on the back and fainted in the tunnel. As a Hokage, she rarely leaves Konoha village and has never ridden a thunder spirit before. Haha, Hokage, in terms of flight speed, I am the best in the ninja world. It only takes 2 or 3 hours to go to Sand Shinobi from here. His speed surged again. Soon, everyone in Tsunagaku looked at him with surprise. Tsunade sat on a Thunder Eagle and descended from the sky. Soon, she was invited by Baki and other Jonin to go to the Cage building. In the main seat of the conference hall, Tsunade saw a gray-haired old woman. Hey, Tsunade-hime, it's been a long time since I last saw you. You are still so young and beautiful. Grandma Chio, I didn't expect that even you would come out of the mountain. Tsunade was also a little surprised. As one of Tsunagaku's top puppet masters, she had naturally heard of Grandma Chio's name. According to legend, Granny Chio reached the pinnacle of her skills as a puppet master. She only needs one finger to perfectly control a puppet. Just one person is enough to capture a city. This is already the limit of the puppet master. In the previous ninja war, Granny Chio has posed a considerable threat to Konoha through the puppet technique. Alas, I'm ashamed to say that it was my unfilial grandson who attacked Tsunagaku this time. Granny Chio sighed, especially when she learned that the third cage was also made into a human puppet by Scorpion. I feel even more regretful. I didn't expect that Xie would go astray to this extent. If I had known earlier, I would have killed him with my own hands. When Granny Chio said this, her eyes darkened. Is he the former rebel ninja? Tsunade shook his head slightly, thinking of Orochimaru and third Hokage Sarutobi Hiruzen. How similar they are to what Tsunagaku is going through now. Once upon a time, Sarutobi Hiruzen also had the opportunity to kill Orochimaru with his own hands. But because of a moment of weakness, he let him go. After becoming a rebel nin, Orochimaru made a comeback and finally killed Hokage with his own hands. Hey, let's stop chatting for now. Tsunade, I'm leaving it to you this time. Granny Chio said after a moment of silence. Then, she took out a scroll and handed it to Tsunade. In return, I will share the forbidden technique I developed with you day. Forbidden technique. Tsunade took it with some confusion. After opening it, she was shocked by the contents inside. Forbidden technique. Reincarnation. A ninjutsu that uses all your chakra as a medium to share life with others. You can even give life to puppets and resurrect the dead. Even Tsunade found it incredible to see such a terrifying effect. It can actually resurrect the dead. It is the ultimate in medical ninjutsu. Tsunade admired in his heart, although the caster had to pay a huge price, even. But there is no doubt about the power of this ninjutsu. This is a ninjutsu that I have spent a lot of effort on over the years to create. I originally thought, oh, forget it. Grandma Chio sighed when she said this. Tsunade, please be sure to cure Tsunagaku and other juniors. Well, I will try my best. Tsunade nodded, not to mention anything else, this ninjutsu alone was worth her trip. Well, take me to see the injured. Soon, the owner of Daning was in an empty place. Including Kankuro, there were more than 10 ninjas lying on the ground. There were a lot of purple blood marks on their bodies, especially under their skin, which looked scary. Tsunade walked towards Kankuro and then used medical ninjutsu to check. I see, this poison is really tricky. Tsunade was slightly silent. In fact, Granny Chio was very accomplished in medical ninjutsu. Even she can't detoxify, which shows how difficult Scorpion's plot is. What about, Tsunade, can you solve it? Granny Chio looked at her expectantly. Well, it's troublesome, but it should be fine. Tsunade smiled and said, leave it to me. You can pick enough herbs according to what I wrote. Later, Tsunade took out the scroll and thought about the antidote. Less than half a day. Tsunade successfully prepared the antidote. Fortunately, Usunagaku doesn't grow many types of herbs. Tsunade praised, and then gave Kankuro and others the antidote to take. Soon, Kankuro and others looked much better. Grandma Chio breathed a sigh of relief when she saw this. The next step is to recover Feng Ying. Baki, has the intelligence department found any trace of that Akatsuki member? Mother-in-law, we don't have it yet, but we can determine the approximate range based on the traces. Baki took out a map and circled the area they were targeting. Gaara, it should be in this area. Granny Chio nodded slightly. It seems that this old bone of mine needs to be exercised again. Tsunade, do you want to come with me? Okay, I haven't fought against Xiao yet, so I just want to take this opportunity to take a look. Tsunade smiled confidently. Seeing this, Chio's mother-in-law also smiled. I didn't expect that we would one day fight side by side. Besides, Tsunade-hime, your medical ninjutsu is getting better and better. My old bones are becoming more and more useless. Tsunade was able to cure the poison that he was helpless to deal with in less than half a day. This made Chio feel a little depressed. After learning medical ninjutsu for so long, I still can't compare to Tsunade. Sister, let me go with you. At this time, Ebizo walked slowly not far away. No need, the two of us are enough, as for the others. It's better not to go, it will only increase casualties. Granny Chio shook her head and refused. Later, she took Tsunade and prepared to chase Scorpion. As soon as the two left the village, Tsunade let out a sharp cry. When Chiandai's mother-in-law is confused. I saw strong winds all around, and a huge condor swooped down from the clouds. Oh, what a powerful summoning mon. Granny Chio's eyes widened. Konoha's strength seemed to be getting stronger and stronger. His speed was much faster and he quickly caught up with Xie. Tsunade explained. Then, the two of them sat on the Thunder Spirit and flew toward the area shown on the map at extremely fast speeds. Well, without Deidara's flying clay, traveling would be really slow. Scorpion controlled Fei Liuhu and led Gaara forward. However, with his speed, he has to reach the gathering point to extract the tailed beasts. There is still a long way to go. This makes Scorpion a little impatient to wait. These guys in Sand Shinobi Village have not made any progress over the years. Well, if you are poisoned by my poison, no one will dare to catch you and die. Scorpion thought silently in his heart. As he continued on his way, without any warning, a bolt of lightning struck from the sky. Boom! The outer layer of the Akatsuki tissue coat of the scarlet amber shell was directly burned, revealing its true body. You are indeed a human puppet, Scorpion, you have fallen. Granny Chio and Tsunade jumped down from the air and stood in front of Fei Liuhu. Ha, it turns out it's you, mother-in-law. There has been no movement for so many years. I thought you were dead. Seeing this, Xie just said coldly. Even if I'm going to die, I have to help the village get rid of this scourge of you first. As a member of Sunagaku, you actually took action against the Kazekage-sama one after another. It's really a heinous crime. Grandma Senju's voice was calm, but people could hear the anger in it. However, this one is. Sha stared at Tsunade and suddenly remembered something. I didn't expect it to be you, 5th Hokage. Sha was surprised. He didn't expect that Konoha's Hokage would come in person. Shao, leave Gaara here and capture her without any hesitation. Tsunade wiped his fists and made a sound. Innocent. The Scorpion of Crimson Sand had not yet finished speaking. Fei Liuhu opened his mouth, as the two of them came forward. Wow! Granny Chio suddenly opened her chakra shield and stood in front of the two of them. Tisk tisk tisk. The poisonous needle hit her shield and was easily deflected. At the same time, she waved her hand violently and quickly shot several kunai towards Scorpion. Dang dang. Fei Liuhu swung her steel tail and easily knocked away the kunai. Tsunade, don't be careless. Granny Chio reminded. Sure enough, as expected of my mother-in-law, this kind of trick is of no use to you. The voice of the red sand scorpion came from Fei Liuhu. I said, do you just know how to hide? Tsunade suddenly stepped on the ground and flashed in front of Hirayuko. It's time to show your true colors. Tsunade gathered chakra in his fist and blasted it out. This woman is so fast. Scorpion was shocked. He was about to escape, but was shocked to find that Fei Liuhu was entangled in the chakra silk sutra of the national mother-in-law. Boom! Tsunade's terrifying punch directly smashed Hirayuko to pieces. But Scorpion also took the opportunity to escape. You're really cool, was the previous attack to stop Fei Liuhu from moving. The red sand scorpion reveals its true appearance. And Hokage, as a woman, you have such a terrifying experience. It seems that a fierce battle is inevitable. Xie turned his head and said softly. This guy is so young. Tsunade frowned slightly. No matter how he looked at it, the young man in front of him didn't look like someone who had been famous for a long time. Grandma Chio's heart sank. Tsunade, be careful, the puppet he uses is different from the normal puppet. Huh, Tsunade was a little confused. What he uses is a human puppet. It can retain the puppet's chakra and all ninjutsu when it was alive. Granny Chio explained. Besides, looking at him like this, I'm afraid he will also. Tsunade looked at Scorpion in shock. No wonder he is so young and turned himself into a human puppet. This is too cruel. The first Akatsuki member she saw with her own eyes was extremely surprising. Why, are you surprised, Crow? Isn't it wonderful to turn yourself into a puppet and into eternal art? HMPH, that's right. For those of you who don't understand art, it's hard to understand. The red sand scorpion showed a dull smile. What a madman. Tsunade cursed under his breath. Making yourself look like a human or a ghost is considered art. Don't make me laugh. If you have any tricks, use them as soon as possible. Tsunade yelled at him. HMPH, then come and see my most proud collection. Then, Scorpion waved and released the third Case Cage puppet. Except for Case Cage, I'm also interested in making other shadows into human puppets. Watch me cut you into pieces and throw you away. With a low roar from him, the Feng Ying puppet showed a sharp sword in its hand, suspended in the air and attacked the two of them. Granny Chio also released two scrolls. Two puppets appeared in the air, also holding machetes to kill them. Father and mother, how dare you bring out such old-fashioned puppets? The red sand scorpion roared. HMPH, it doesn't matter if I'm old-fashioned or not, as long as I can defeat you, that's enough. Granny Chio responded coldly. Clang clang clang. The three-headed puppets started a fierce battle in midair. Tsunade, please stand back. You will be at a huge disadvantage if your flesh and blood body fights against the puppet machine. Granny Chio reminded. Don't worry, I'll help you. Tsunade smiled, raised his leg and stamped it on the ground. Boom, on the ground, the hard rock shattered. Tsunade raised his leg and kicked, and the huge rock roared and slammed into the Case Cage puppet. The wind shadow puppet slashed out with a knife, directly chopping the rock into pieces. But the next second, the two puppets, father and mother, connected their hands with steel wires and cut around them. Almost instantly, the weapon in the hand of the wind shadow puppet was cut into several pieces. The crimson sand scorpion waved his hand, and the wind shadow puppet quickly retreated. That difficult guy, I'll deal with you first. He moved his fingers, and mechanisms appeared on the Feng Ying puppet's body, causing poisonous smoke to spurt out. In an instant, it spread to dozens of meters around, and continued to fly towards Tsunade and the two. In a very short time, the entire battlefield was enveloped in poisonous smoke. Tsunade and Chio looked at each other, then took out the antidote and hid it on themselves. Fortunately, I prepared the antidote in advance, otherwise it would be very troublesome to fight him. Tsunade whispered. With an antidote, the scorpion's poison will be useless and the threat will be much smaller. Third cage has the magnet-style blood succession limit and is very powerful. Get rid of it first. Tsunade, come here. Granny Chio whispered a few words in her ear. Then, the purple thunder smoke dispersed. The bodies of Tsunade and Tsunade were shaking slightly, and they seemed to be poisoned. When Scorpion saw this, a smile appeared on his face. You must have been hit. There is no room to dodge from such a large-scale poisonous smoke. Very good. With you, my collection of human puppets will reach 300. Go, magnet style, sand iron triangular pyramid. A large amount of black sand iron quickly formed into a sharp triangular shape. It spins and stabs both Tsunade and Tsunade. Tsunade jumped high and punched him, sending him flying. However, the strength is obviously weaker than before. I still have the power to resist. It seems that the poisonous gas has not spread to the whole body yet. The red sand scorpion secretly thought, and continued to control the medium sand iron to attack the two of them. Finally, as the hand Wengxing became weaker and weaker. At a certain moment, a cube made of sand and iron directly smashed her away. Tsunade fell to the ground and tried to get up, but he seemed to have no energy left. Well, it seems that it won't work. Let's use this trick to bury you. The red sand scorpion showed a dangerous smile, and a large amount of sand and iron quickly solidified. Soon, a sharp barrier of sand and iron formed and stabbed at the two of them. Times of crisis. Tsunade stood up suddenly, grabbed Granny Chio, and escaped from the attack range. What, you are not poisonous? Xie showed a trace of surprise. Fortunately, he had just controlled third cage to perform long-range attacks. Damn it, this guy is too cautious. Tsunade frowned and said, originally, they planned to pretend to be poisoned. See if you can get close to him and attack him, and seize his flaw. Unexpectedly, the other party didn't even give me a chance. HMPH, Tsunade, you are the top medical ninja. Of course I have to take precautions. You can make an antidote. The red sand scorpion sneered. Grandma Chio, it seems we can only defeat him head-on. Tsunade clenched his fist. It's been a long time since I used my full strength. The next second, the diamond-shaped mark on Tsunade's forehead lit up. Weird patterns instantly spread from her forehead to her cheeks. That is, red sand scorpion and others were a little confused. After Tsunade unlocked the seal, abundant chakra poured into the body. Her speed and explosive power have improved a lot compared to before. Suddenly, Tsunade moved. In an instant, she rushed directly towards Scorpion's body at an astonishing speed. Hold her off. Scorpion immediately controlled the cage puppet, and a large amount of sand and iron formed a cube in front of Tsunade. With a dull sound, Tsunade's blow directly sent the huge sand iron cube flying 100 meters. Boom! The huge black sand iron cube hit the ground, and a deep pit appeared. Tsunade, you! Granny Chio's eyes widened. In this state, Tsunade's power is terrifying. Grandma Chio, don't be stunned, take action. Tsunade warned and quickly rushed towards Scorpion. As expected of Princess Tsunade, who is famous for her medical ninjutsu and supernatural powers among the Sannin. Scorpion was also a little surprised. In this state, it is not appropriate to fight Tsunade head-on. So under his control, the black sand iron quickly decomposed into small pieces. Magnet style, Sunatetsu Shigur. Third cage puppet chakra surges. The sand and iron shot out like black bullets. Tsunade slammed her foot onto the ground, and a large piece of hard rock protruded directly in front of her. Boom, boom, boom. The thick rocks were shot out into deep pits, but they still blocked the attack of the sand and iron rain. Tsunade then grabbed the rock as a shield and quickly approached Scorpion. This kind of strange strength and speed is really tricky. Xie secretly thought. He could only make the sand iron change its shape and turn into a sharp black spear. Whoosh! The spear shot away like an arrow. Sure enough, the penetrating power of the sand iron spear was greatly enhanced, instantly shattering Tsunade's rock. But in that brief moment, Tsunade was already close. She punched Scorpion fiercely. The red sand scorpion retreated at an extremely fast speed. Boom! Missed a hit. But the terrifying shock wave spread, a huge crater appeared on the ground, and countless gravel flew everywhere. Xia's entire body was blown away by the impact and hit the mountain wall nearby. Scorpion's body seemed to be broken and fell to the ground in a strange posture. However, he still shook his hands. Suddenly, the sand-iron spear pierced Tsunade from behind at an astonishing speed. At the critical moment, Granny Chio waved her hand, and Hirayuko's steel tail blocked Tsunade. HMPH, mother-in-law, you underestimate third Casecage's magnet style. In an instant, the sand and iron changed shape in the air. In an instant, it turned into a black weapon with a large number of forked spikes. Poof! The sand-iron spikes instantly penetrated Tsunade's back. Tsunade knelt down on one knee. The wound was in Tianal Shioner Performance Factory. The whole person slowly fell to the side. Damn it, you actually used yourself as bait to lure Tsunade to attack him. Granny Chio's expression changed. HMPH, kill one first, go and kill her. Scorpio opened his eyes wide, showing a cruel look. Wings of sand and iron sprouted from the back of the wind shadow puppet. Its arm shoots out a sharp sword and kills Tsunade at high speed. However, the moment it approached, boom, Tsunade punched out fiercely, and the terrifying force directly destroyed the Casecage puppet. What? Red Sand Scorpion and Chio were shocked at the same time. You guy, you are obviously so seriously injured, but you still have this kind of strength. Scorpion is a little unbelievable. If it were an ordinary ninja, being penetrated by sand and iron like this, he would probably be seriously injured and on the verge of death, unable to move. Not to mention launching a counterattack. Severely injured. Haha, you are looking down on me, Tsunade. Tsunade stood up and smiled. At this time, the two of them discovered that the hideous wounds on Tsunade's body had healed. I didn't expect it to be a regenerated body. Is this your medical ninjutsu? It's indeed commendable to destroy my strongest collection. It seems that it is difficult for other puppets to deal with you. Shie sneered and slowly took off his clothes. Since the battle with the Akatsuki organization, it has been a long time since I fought with my own body. As his robe was lifted, his body like a machine puppet was revealed. Scorpion, it really is like this. Granny Chio sighed. The current Red Sand Scorpion can hardly be called a human being. So what, compared to the fragile human body, the eternal puppet body is the real work of art. And, mother-in-law, you are the same, your arms have also been modified. Scorpion twisted his head and made a clicking sound. I have a lot of responsibility for you to become like this, so let's end it here. After a slight silence, Granny Chio spoke. Hum. Old lady, you always have an educational face, don't be too self-righteous. The Crimson Sand Scorpion covered his face with his hands, a gloomy look on his face. If you want to apologize to me, go to hell and say it. Xie Meng stretched out his hand, and one of the 4 scrolls behind him lit up. Raging flames spurted out from the mechanism on his palm and flew towards Tsunade and the two. Retreat. The two quickly retreated to avoid the attack. The flames burned on the rocks, burning them red. What a crazy guy, he actually transformed himself into this. We cannot approach this situation rashly. Tsunade whispered. The temperature of these flames is so high that even with the Baihao technique, Tsunade has no bottom. Tsunade, don't worry, the puppet's mechanisms must be prepared in advance. They are limited. As long as this period of time passes, you can launch a counterattack. Tsunade, come here. Granny Chio spoke. As a powerful puppet master, she knows each other's weaknesses well. What's wrong, old woman, and Hokage, aren't you going to kill me? Shia's cold voice sounded. Suddenly, the mechanism on his palm changed. Sharp water jets spurted out from his palm, cutting straight into the rock where the two of them were hiding. Laugh. Rocks shatter. The two of them rushed out, one on the left and the other on the right, and approached the Scorpion of Joy at the same time. Ha, it's finally out. Die. Xie opened his eyes wide and slashed at the two of them with the sharp water jet. He was very confident that at this close range, they would never be able to escape. Granny Chio stretched out her hand, and the chakra shield appeared in front of her to block the attack. On the other side, Tsunade was cut off by a water jet. The Red Sand Scorpion was about to smile, but found that Tsunade fell to the ground without any blood. He took a closer look and saw that it was actually a puppet, mother. Oops, it's actually a substitute. Xie realized something was wrong and just wanted to retreat. Then as you wish. Tsunade appeared behind him and punched out. The body of the Crimson Sand Scorpion instantly fell apart under the terrifying strange force. Various puppet mechanisms and parts are scattered all over the floor. The two of them breathed a sigh of relief when they saw Shia's smashed puppet body. Finally solved. Granny Chio thought of something and her eyes darkened. By the way, where is Gaara? Where did he put it? Tsunade looked around. Suddenly, a cold voice sounded behind the two of them. You said, what was solved? Then, the sharp sword ninja stabbed Chio fiercely. This guy. Tsunade reacted and kicked the blade away. The next second, the body of the red sand scorpion appeared in front of the two people intact. However, spider web-like cracks appeared on his face. Apparently, this is what Tsunade left behind. HMPH, that punch just now was really powerful. If it were a flesh and blood body, it would have been shattered long ago. However, I, who have transformed into eternal art, will not be easily defeated. The red sand scorpion twisted its neck. Granny Chio seemed to have made up her mind. She took out a scroll from her sleeve and opened it. Immediately afterwards, the cross puppet quickly flew out. Oh, are you finally going to use the ultimate move? Mother-in-law. Secret technique of 10 fingers, secret technique of white, 10 Chikamatsu people. Rumored to be a puppet ninjutsu that can capture a city. Backquote, it's a pity, still can't get rid of the shackles of human beings. Quote. The red sand scorpion shook his head slightly. Then, he suddenly opened the mechanism on his chest. At the same time, a large number of human puppets popped out of the crimson scroll. Kakaka, there are so many of them that they almost cover the sky. Mother-in-law, this is a secret technique that can only be performed by becoming a puppet. It is enough to conquer a country. The red secret technique 100 machine exercises. The red sand scorpion said with a slight raised corner of his mouth. Granny Chio's eyes suddenly widened. This, such a terrifying number. Scorpion, how many ninjas have you killed over the years? Mother-in-law, don't speak so harshly. After all, thanks to me, they can become eternal works of art. This guy can control so many puppets at once. Tsunade also frowned, secretly thinking something was wrong. At a glance, there are 200 to 300 human puppets. To kill them all, the battle process and the amount of chalk consumed will definitely be exaggerated. There is no other way. I didn't want to use this trick. At this time, a smile appeared on Tsunade's face. It would be better if the secret technique taught to her by Sasuke is not exposed. But in this case, Tsunade thought, and light golden lines gradually appeared on her body. In an instant, the aura she exuded rose rapidly, and her whole person seemed to carry a trace of the power of heaven and earth. A large amount of natural energy quickly poured into her body. The sudden change made Chio and Shie open their eyes wide. Grandma Chio, it's time to take action. Before Tsunade finished speaking, she rushed over like a golden phantom, Wang Lihao. So fast that I can't even see clearly. Tsunade is actually so powerful. Granny Chio looked shocked. Go. Scorpion also looked solemn. Dozens of puppets swarmed forward, trying to intercept Tsunade with their numbers. However, wait until they get closer. Tsunade punched the ground hard. Rumble. The earth shook. The terrible shock wave spread instantly. The large number of human puppets that approached her were directly shattered. How is it possible? Just based on the aftermath. The Crimson Sand Scorpion's empty eyes showed shock. Tsunade's power reminded him of tailed beasts. Suddenly, all the puppets in midair raised their weapons at the same time. I don't believe you can block this blow with your body. The next second, hundreds of puppet mechanisms fell from the air like raindrops. It's a pity to imagine that once hit, the whole person will be beaten directly into a sieve. Roll. Tsunade raised his head and let out a loud roar. Under the impact of the terrifying sound waves, these weapons were blown away and scattered everywhere. Tsunade's figure flashed and appeared in front of Scorpion. She reached out her hand, grabbed Shia's head, and pushed it hard to the ground. Click. His head instantly turned into powder and disappeared. Then, Tsunade punched out. Boom. As a huge crater appears on the ground. The body of the red sand scorpion completely disappeared. Looking at the dozens of meters large pit appearing on the ground. Granny Chio's eyes widened and she looked at Tsunade in disbelief. This kind of power is too exaggerated. With just one punch from Tsunade, the terrain began to change. It's simply not like a power that humans can possess. No matter who you are as a puppet master, I will destroy you with one punch. Too violent. Terrible. Tsunade, your strength is getting more and more unfathomable. Granny Chio praised. This time, she really accepted it. Originally, she was still a little frightened when she saw the 300 celebrity puppets released by Chie. She originally thought that this time would definitely be a fierce battle, and she was even prepared to die. But I didn't expect that Tsunade would solve it so easily. Before that, she had dismissed Tsunade's name as Sanin. After all, Hanzo of the Salamander, who gave Sanin the name, was just her old enemy. Regardless of her qualifications and strength, she considers herself to be no less than Tsunade. But now, Grandma Chio could only lament that she was getting old after all and could no longer keep up with the young people. Grandma Chio, the forbidden technique you showed me before was enough to surprise people. Tsunade stood up and said with a smile. Then, looking at the horrific scene of destruction he had caused, Tsunade shook his fist. Sasuke, this power is so surprising. After she displayed the immortal body Dao pattern, her battle with the Crimson Sand Scorpion was too short. I always feel like I'm not having enough fun. Click. With the scorpion eliminated, a large number of puppets fell to the ground around them. Tsunade jumped up and appeared next to Granny Chio. It's a pity that so many people are puppets. Grandma Chio looked around and felt the direction. However, only Scorpion can control a human puppet to perform ninjutsu. You can treat them as ordinary puppets, I'll leave them to you Sunagaker. Tsunade said with a smile. There is no powerful puppet master in Konoha village, otherwise it would be better to bring some of them back. By the way, let's take Gaara back first. Tsunade suggested. Okay, Tsunade, thank you for your hard work this time. Grandma Senju said gratefully. Soon, the two men injected poison into Gaara, who was unconscious in the distance. Later, take him back to Sunagaker. Just after the two left, a fallen human puppet suddenly got up. On his chest, there is the core piece of meat with the word, Scorpion. Tsunade, what a terrifying 4-star. Scorpion muttered to himself. Fortunately, I escaped from the main body at the critical moment, otherwise. That's right, just before Tsunade launches the final blow. He first used a human puppet attack to attract Tsunade's attention. Then, he secretly transferred his core meat to another person's puppet. Only then did he avoid being killed by Tsunade's punch. Facing Tsunade's final terrifying form. That speed and power. Leave him powerless to resist. Years of fighting experience have made Xian understand that if he continues to fight, he has no chance of winning. There is only one way to die. Therefore, it is more important to save your life first. Information about Tsunade must be told to the leader. This guy has the power to threaten the organization. Scorpion thought to himself. Then, he planned to put away his human puppets and escape from here. Suddenly, a voice sounded. It was such a close call. You almost escaped. Tsunade and Chio jumped from the air and landed in front of Scorpion. The two looked at him indifferently. How did you know? Scorpio is full of doubts about the secret that his body is a core of flesh. Even in the Akatsuki organization, no one knows. Humph, of course it's the ability to sense. Scorpion, you can't escape this time. Tsunade smiled. Immediately, light golden lines appeared on her body again. How is it possible? According to intelligence, you have never demonstrated sentience in all these years. As for Granny Chio, he knew better, but she also had no perception. Idiot, who said I discovered it? Tsunade smiled and looked up at the sky. In the clouds, Lei Ling's metallic body was occasionally seen. That's right, it was Sasuke's summoningmon who discovered that Scorpion was still alive. Originally, they had planned to leave, but fortunately Lei Ling sensed that the aura of the Scorpion below had not dissipated. Only then did they discover the secret of the Red Sand Scorpion. Assholes, I'm going to kill you. Shia's eyes widened as a large number of human puppets around him began to attack the two of them again under his control. Many people waved their hands fiercely. Various sharp and venom-filled weapons suddenly shot towards Tsunade. Tsunade, be careful, Granny Chio reminded loudly. You're really looking for death. Tsunade moved, leaving a golden phantom behind, and flashed away instantly. Obviously, the attack speed of these weapons cannot keep up with Tsunade's movement. The next second, Tsunade appeared in front of the red sand scorpion. The pale gold chakra scalpel on her hand lights up. Poof! A lightning strike directly pierced the scorpion's flesh. Blood spilled from the corner of Scorpion's mouth. He slowly lowered his head and looked at his vitals. It's a pity that I couldn't completely transform into eternal art, otherwise, you wouldn't be able to kill me. Scorpion only had time to leave one sentence. Then, he slowly fell to the ground. This guy is finally dead. Tsunade felt the scorpion's aura completely dissipate and let out a long breath. The red sand scorpion is such a difficult character. Tsunade and Chiyo were able to defeat him mainly because Tsunade's medical ninjutsu was outstanding and he successfully configured an antidote. Only then did Scorpion's trump card, poison, be completely eliminated. Otherwise, once poisoned, even if Tsunade uses the immortal body Dao pattern, he will have stronger resistance to the poison. But she was not sure whether the scorpion could be completely eliminated before the poison was released. The outcome is unknown. To other ninjas, the red sand scorpion is definitely a terrifying figure. Grandma Chiandai Iaa appeared in front of Xie and slowly put away his puppet body. Chiyo's trembling body made Tsunade see the sadness in her heart. As enemies, although they killed Scorpion. But he is the grandson of Chiyo's mother-in-law after all. Even though I had been mentally prepared for it, I saw him die in front of my eyes. Obviously it is not so easy to accept. Oh, let's go. Granny Chiyo sighed and followed Tsunade away. Soon, everyone in Sunagaku looked expectantly. Granny Chiyo and Tsunade, along with Gaara, returned safely. After being injected with the antidote, Gaara also woke up successfully. Seeing the return of the cage, all the ninjas in Sunagaku were moved to tears. Originally, in their opinion, since this terrifying enemy was able to invade the village, he successfully kidnapped Feng Ying. His strength is too strong. Even if the Hokage comes, they don't have much hope. Unexpectedly, Tsunade gave them a big surprise. Because Granny Chiyo announced. Not only did they recapture the Wind Shadow, they also successfully killed the enemy. So Master Hokage is so strong. It's just that the enemy who was invincible even to Lord Cage couldn't escape. Nonsense, the Fire Nation is the leader of the 5 great nations. Moreover, Konoha's strength was once ranked second among the 5 great ninja villages. What's more, Tsunade-sama is the legendary Sannin, Grand Master of Medical Ninjutsu. It's natural to deal with such poisonous enemies with ease. Great, Lord Gaara is fine. He will definitely lead our Sunagaku to become stronger and stronger. Originally, Gaara's prestige was not so high. There are still a few people in the village who are still afraid of Gaara. After all, the young Gaara was synonymous with cruelty. It left a deep shadow on many people in Cheyenne. But during the invasion of the Red Sand Scorpions, he risked his life and was not afraid of danger, successfully protecting everyone. As a result, he was distracted and caught. This move undoubtedly made him deeply loved by other people in the village. He has become a very qualified cage who is respected by everyone. Master Hokage, thank you very much this time. Gaara solemnly thanked Tsunade. Based on the intelligence, he gradually understood that the target of the Akatsuki organization was the tailed beast in his body. And once Jinchuriki is separated from the tailed beast, there will only be death. Tsunade actually saved his life this time. Gaara is naturally grateful. Cage, Konoha and Sand Shinobi were originally allies, although there was an unpleasant war due to Orochimaru's instigation. However, Akatsuki is our common enemy now. No matter what, I will not let them succeed. Tsunade smiled slightly. What's more, Granny Chiyo has already given me enough compensation. Gaara nodded slightly. He decided that if Konoha was in trouble in the future, he would risk his life to take action. Afterwards, Tsunade said goodbye to everyone, got on the Thunder Eagle and flew quickly towards Konoha village. Lei Ling, thanks to you this time. I didn't expect that your perception ability is so good. Tsunade said with joy on his face. If you can take action and help us deal with Scorpion, I believe it will be easier. Lei Ling blinked. Hokage, I am Lord Sasuke's summoning beast. I will not attack without his orders. Of course, if you become the wife of the Uchiha clan leader, the situation will be different, ha ha ha. Lei Ling's laughter spread far away in the clouds. You. Tsunade suddenly blushed. Unexpectedly, I was teased by Summoningmon. You guy, how can you be like your master? Tsunade slapped it hard. By the way, where did that guy Sasuke go? Tsunade asked suddenly. If Sasuke comes together this time, defeating the Red Sand Scorpion won't be too easy. Lord Sasuke, he has something important to do, so he is going to the kingdom of GG. I don't know much about the specific situation. You can ask him personally when he comes back. Lei Ling paused slightly and said, Earth Country. Tsunade was a little confused. There should be no bond between Sasuke and the Earth Kingdom. When he goes there, what is there? The land of Earth. A fierce battle is breaking out in a dense forest. Water style, blast water waves. Kisame Kazaki opened his mouth and spurted out a raging stream of water. Under the influence of his powerful chakra, the water flow gathered more and more, almost forming a small lake. HMPH, 4 tails, you'd better not run away. Hoshigaki Kisame sneered. This guy has such a huge amount of chakra. 4 tails. Jinchuriki Lao Zi's face condensed. Water defeats fire, plus the powerful chakra of this weirdo in front of me. And the calm, unfathomable companion not far away. These guys definitely came prepared. This powerful water-style ninjutsu, who, are you guys? Lao Zi roared at Kisame Kisame. Old man 4 tails, as long as you can resist arrest, I will tell you, how about it? Kisame said with a playful smile. Besides, you've been running away for so long, and we're already very irritated. Lao Zi's face turned cold. He is not a fool, how could he agree? If that's the case, then go die. Lava-style scorched river rock technique. Lao Zi formed a seal with his hands and sprayed lava balls from his mouth towards Hoshigaki Kisame. Lava style, isn't it just fire style? It seems more difficult than expected. Inked Kaki Kisame said this, still looking relaxed. Chi-chi. The magma fireball flew in, causing the surrounding water to evaporate instantly. Kisame and Uchiha Itachi really felt the hot temperature. Unfortunately, this ninjutsu is useless to me. Kisame Kazaki fiercely waved the samahata in his hand and slashed at the lava-style fireball. A smile appeared on Lao Zi's face. This is no ordinary attack. Once the magma fireball explodes, it will be extremely lethal. But the next second, his smile froze. The moment the magma fireball was struck, there was no expected explosion. Instead, it quickly shrank and then disappeared. How is it possible that you gave my lava style to? Don't be too surprised, old man, haven't you heard of Kurigakure's ninja sword Samahata? But it likes to devour chakra the most. Hoshigaki Kisame said, the Samahata in his hand was still slowly squirming. As expected of the tailed beast chakra, Samahata is very satisfied with it. Lao Zi frowned slightly. Turns out to be one of the 7 ninja swordsmen. He let out a low roar, and his whole body was immediately covered with hot lava, as if it had formed an armor. Lava-style chakra mode. In this state, the magma emanating from his body can easily melt everything it comes into contact with, and the lava can also greatly improve the body's defense. Whoosh! Lao Zi walked on the water, and the high temperature caused the water to evaporate, forming white steam that enveloped him. Kisame, be careful, Uchiha Itachi reminded behind him, do you need my help? No, Mr. Itachi, considering your body, it's better to fight less. Besides, I can handle just 4 tails. Kisame Kazaki also rushed over. Boom, the two started a head-on confrontation. After all, the magma armor is just made of chakra. Suffer death, 4 tails. Kisame Kazaki growled. Seeing this, Lao Zi gritted his teeth slightly. As the battle progresses, the chakra in the body is constantly being swallowed by Samahata. However, Kisame Kazaki can be fed back by Samahata, and his strength is always maintained at its peak. No, if you continue, all my chakra will be swallowed. Cold sweat broke out on Lao Zi's forehead. The next second, red chakra burst out from his whole body and he started to transform into a half-tailed beast. In this state, his speed soared and he quickly appeared behind Inakasaki Kisame. The palm exuding lava punched Kisame Inakasaki on the back with a fierce punch. Wow! Kisame's body shattered and dissipated into countless water splashes. What? It's actually a water incarnation. Lao Zi was shocked. The next second, his body was surrounded by huge water balls. HMPH, I caught you. As the water ball was dragged into the lake, Hoshigaki Kisame smiled. Water style, 5 food shark. Kisame slapped the water with one hand, and 5 shark-shaped water bombs quickly formed. They pounced on Laozi and bit him quickly. Laozi used the power of the tailed beast and smashed the water bombs with his huge red palm. But under the constant infusion of chakra from dried persimmon Kisame, they continued to resurrect. Continuing to bite the 4 tails Jinchuriki. A long time. Hoshigaki Kisame grabbed Laozi with one hand and threw him in front of Uchiha Itachi. Kisame, be gentle to the old man, and you took too long this time. Uchiha Itachi said softly. Hey, Mr. Itachi, Jinchuriki is still very difficult to deal with. This guy looks old, but he fights very fiercely, and ordinary ninjas are no match for him. Kisame Mikigaki sighed. However, I don't know what happened to the others. Moreover, Mr. Itachi, someone seems to be looking for us in Earth Kingdom recently. We'd better leave first. Kisame spoke. By the way, I remember the leader seemed to have said that the tailed beast seals must be in order. Don't worry, just let him fall into the illusion. In the forest of the land of Earth, Sasuke casts multiple shadow clone and keeps moving forward to detect the news. At the same time, he was in contact with Xiangling and others. How's it going? Did you find Uchiha Itachi? Sasuke asked Xiangling. In terms of perception range, national love is more important than Sasuke. However, Sasuke's perception ability is more detailed than hers. In addition to chakra, she can also perceive ordinary creatures and the environment. Generally speaking, the perception and comprehensive abilities of the two are now comparable. Not yet, but Sasuke, Jugo said they found traces of a fight in a forest. Xiangling jumped and said at the same time. Fight. Sasuke was slightly confused. Well, it's not an ordinary ninja. According to Jugo, one party used the lava style. It's probably the 4 tails Jinchuri calendar you mentioned. Besides, it hasn't been too long since they left. Xiangling's words made Sasuke's eyes light up. You can't go wrong. According to intelligence, the Uchiha Itachi duo came to capture 4 tails. And the location is nearby. That's why Sasuke is in a hurry to leave Konoha and come here. Itachi, we will meet again soon. There was a hint of coldness in Sasuke's eyes. Xiangling, come with me now. Sasuke left a message, speeding up, and rushed towards the target location. Sasuke, slow down and wait for me. Xiangling shouted after him. A completely destroyed forest. Zongwu and Suigetsu have arrived and are checking the surrounding situation carefully. Suddenly, Sasuke arrived with Xiangling. Sasuke, you are finally here. Slowly, I have been waiting for you for a long time. Shueyu picked her ears and said. Asshole Suigetsu, be respectful to Sasuke. Xiangling slapped Shueyu's head, causing a splash of water. I understand. I'm waiting for you, Xiangling. Shueyu suddenly thought of something when she saw Xiangling's irritable look. Indeed, with Sasuke's strength, it would definitely be much faster to get here. Xiangling's speed was too slow, which dragged him down. Forget it, don't talk about anything else. What is the situation now? Which direction did Uchiha Itachi go? Sasuke looked at Jugo, who was not far away. Sasuke, according to the battle traces, it should be made by Kisame Kazaki and 4 tails you mentioned. The birds told me that the dried persimmon Kisame seems to be heading south. Chongo said respectfully. South, you stay here and wait for me. After Sasuke left a message, he turned into a phantom and sped towards the south. In the forest, Sasuke jumped through and through at an astonishing speed. At the same time, push your mental strength to the limit. Soon, he made a discovery within his range of perception. A strange yet familiar chakra gathered around the forest. Uchiha Itachi, are you trying to lure me there on purpose? Sasuke's eyes narrowed slightly. However, out of absolute confidence in his own strength, he didn't hesitate at all and rushed over quickly. Shortly after, Uchiha Itachi, wearing a black robe with a red cloud pattern, appeared in front of Sasuke. Sasuke, is it really you who came to see me? Uchiha Itachi's faint voice came out. HMPH, it turns out it's just a crow clone, no wonder he's so confident. Sasuke snorted. It seems that you really want to meet me in person. Of course, Itachi, you'd better stay away, otherwise I will kill you if you meet me. Sasuke's tone was cold. Why, do you think you are strong enough? Uchiha Itachi had a faint smile on his lips, seeming to be mocking. You will understand after we meet. Zuosuke was not angry and replied calmly. In that case, then come to Uchiha's secret stronghold to find me. I also want to see if you have made any progress after not seeing each other for a few years. By the way, I'll end it with you. Uchiha Itachi Sharingan emerges. Just what I wanted, Itachi. Sasuke also appeared in Sharingan, staring at him coldly. Then, Sasuke stretched out his hand and the Chidori light blade shot out. It penetrated the crow clone's body almost instantly. Almost at the same time, this clone of Itachi turned into a large number of crows and fled in all directions. Finally, revenge is about to begin. Sasuke's eyes were cold and he looked into the distance. Soon, Sasuke returned. How's it going, Sasuke? Did you find them? Xiangling asked expectantly. No, but the battle location has been chosen. Well, I'd better send you three back to Kurigakure first. Sasuke thought for a moment. Now that we have agreed on a meeting place with Uchiha Itachi, the three of them are temporarily useless. Later, Sasuke used the Flying Thunder God technique and took the three of them back to Kurigakure. Then, Sasuke kept going. Following the map's guidance, he quickly headed to Uchiha's secret stronghold. There was almost no hindrance. Sasuke arrived in front of the stronghold. Looking at the collapsed ruins of buildings, Sasuke frowned slightly. He didn't know why Uchiha Itachi chose to fight him here. Forget it if you can't figure it out. So, Sasuke stepped into Uchiha's ancient building. Dark secret room passage. Sasuke followed the secret passage and quickly came to a dark and empty place. In the center of the field, there was a figure standing. Sasuke, are you here? Uchiha Itachi slowly turned his head. Well, Sasuke, you've grown taller and you seem to have changed a lot. Uchiha Itachi muttered. The Sasuke in front of me is still just a boy. But due to the opening of the Dao Palace, his body shape is almost that of an adult. Ha, you haven't changed at all, you still look so cold. Sasuke said with a sneer on his face. You seem to be much calmer. Uchiha Itachi said, but you still don't have the same eyes as me. When he said this, the three Magatama in his eyes changed rapidly. The Magatama fused together to form a hollow pinwheel shape. No, I don't need to have Mangekyo Sharingan like you. Now, that's enough. Whether it's an illusion or your lie, my eyes can see through it. I can even see your death state. The corners of Sasuke's mouth raised slightly, showing a smile. Really, Sasuke, you seem very confident. Uchiha Itachi stared at him silently. At this moment, Sasuke's figure flashed and 067 used the body flicker technique to appear behind him. The sharp Chidori light blade in his hand instantly stabbed Uchiha Itachi's body. After several years, how much do you know about me? The hatred in my heart has made me strong enough. Sasuke turned his hand slightly, and the Chidori light blade pierced his body. Uchiha Itachi's mouth was bleeding and he slowly turned his head to look at him. Suddenly, Sasuke put away the Chidori blade. He turned his head and looked not far away. What a boring illusion, Itachi. After all these years, you still haven't improved at all. I've already said that my eyes can see through your illusions. At this moment, Uchiha Itachi is sitting on the stone chair. Sasuke stretched out his hand, and a large amount of blue and white lightning was released from his hand, blasting towards Uchiha Itachi. As the space distorted, the Itachi in front disappeared again. Serial illusion. Stop showing off this little trick. Sasuke turned around and looked coldly at Itachi behind him. Sasuke, you have indeed become stronger. Uchiha Itachi smiled and then formed a seal with his hands. Suddenly, dense black runes appeared throughout the stronghold. Immediately afterwards, a huge red flame barrier enveloped the entire stronghold. This is Uchiha Fire Formation. Sasuke narrowed his eyes slightly, understanding what Itachi meant. Okay, Sasuke, no one will bother you now, we can fight to our heart's content. Really, it seems that this will be the grave you chose for yourself. Sasuke sneered. That's fine, because the existence of the barrier prevents other people from coming in. Neither Zetsu nor the other Akatsuki members could help him. Sasuke, you should have followed my advice and seen the secret of Sharingan in Nanga Shrine. Do you know why I asked you to come to me again after having the same eyes as mine? Uchiha Itachi said, minding his own business. Tell me the story. Sasuke looked at him coldly, wondering what Itachi would do next. You didn't have the Mangekyo Sharingan, and maybe you didn't know that it was a pair of cursed eyes. The more you use it, the more you lose your light. And in the history of our Uchiha clan, only Uchiha Madara broke this curse. Uchiha Itachi's eyes became colder and colder. Uchiha Madara, he's dead now. Sasuke said coldly. Of course Madara is dead. Many years ago, after he entrusted all his plans to Uchiha Obito, he took the initiative to cut off his connection with the sacred tree and died. Of course, apart from Black Zetsu, the only one who knows all this is Sasuke. No, Uchiha Madara is not dead. Uchiha Itachi shook his head slightly. Everyone relies on their own knowledge and understanding, thinking that this is reality, but in the bound understanding, the so-called reality is nothing but an illusion. Sasuke, the world, including you, doesn't know that Uchiha Madara is still alive. Ha ha ha. Sasuke laughed when he heard this. Sasuke, what on earth are you laughing at? Uchiha Itachi frowned when he saw this. Yes, Itachi, you are right, people will be bound by self-perception. But, how do you know that you are not one of the people who are bound? Sasuke smiled strangely. Sasuke's words made Uchiha Itachi fall into silence. But the strength shown by the masked man, the various secrets he knows, and the Mangekyo Sharingan he possesses all foreshadow his identity. Only Uchiha Madara understands all this. In Itachi's opinion, Uchiha Madara should have rewritten the ending of the battle in the Valley of the End through Izanagi. So as to survive. All this time, there is only one Sharingan exposed under the mask of Uchiha Madara. Uchiha Itachi knew that his other eye had lost its light forever because of Izanagi. Sasuke shook his head secretly. It seems that Itachi was completely fooled by Obito. However, it's no wonder. Without God's perspective, who can guess? According to everyone's knowledge, Obito, who died in the Third Ninja War long ago, would have such strong strength and inherit everything from Uchiha Madara. The secret he knows allows him to play Uchiha Madara with ease. Obito can easily mislead others by revealing only a little bit of information. I've already seen him, the man who acted with you on the night of the genocide. Sasuke said suddenly. What? Uchiha Itachi looked at him sharply. Sasuke, you mean, Madara went to see you? Itachi was angry. This guy didn't abide by the agreement he made back then. Itachi, let me ask you, since he is the real Uchiha Madara, why should he be like a mouse and dare not show his true colors to others all day long? Sasuke closed his eyes and spoke slowly. What's more, who he is not important to me at all. All I know is that you two are Uchiha traitors who participated in the genocide. Itachi, today is the day you die. Sasuke opened his eyes, murderous intent revealed. Uchiha Itachi closed his eyes and was slightly silent. Sasuke's development was somewhat beyond his expectation. However, the ultimate goal is the same. Sasuke, now that you know Madara's deeds, you know my purpose clearly. Now, I will capture your eyes, surpass Uchiha Madara, and become the true master of Uchiha. And your eyes are my light. Uchiha Itachi opened his eyes suddenly and instantly cast Tsukuyomi. Sasuke's spirit was once again pulled into Tsukuyomi's illusion space by Itachi. The streets were still dark and silent, and the painful memories of the night of genocide came to Sasuke again. That's it again, Itachi, the illusion given to you by Mangekyo Sharingan is nothing more than that. Sasuke's three Magatama eyes rotated, and his huge mental power directly covered the entire illusion space. In an instant, a new illusion, Yongwa realm arrives. This is. Uchiha Itachi suddenly found that he had turned into a child. He returned to the night of the genocide. In my memory, the originally deserted streets were filled with Uchiha people. Headed by none other than his parents, Uchiha Fugaku and Makoto. However, now they, including the Uchiha tribesmen in the rear, all have hideous wounds on their bodies. Those were the scars left by his brutal killing. Itachi, you traitor. Your father and I worked so hard to raise you, is this the result? Uchiha Makoto stared at him with an indifferent expression. Itachi, I thought that as a genius of the Uchiha clan, you would always make me proud, but I didn't expect that you would betray us. It seems that only Sasuke can inherit Uchiha's orthodoxy. Uchiha Fugaku said with a disappointed look on his face. That's right, Itachi, you traitor, you made my sacrifice meaningless. Uchiha Shisui's eyes were bleeding, and he also stood up and accused. No. Everything I do is for the village and for peace. Uchiha Itachi took a step back and muttered to himself. Itachi, you are a beast who slaughtered your parents and people, how can you say peace? That's right, we Uchiha, aren't we part of the village? You cruel executioner. You were too stupid and were brainwashed and fooled by the top management of Konoha, including Danzo and the third Hokage. It's ridiculous, the so-called village you saved, what has changed now? Uchiha Itachi, we will make you pay with blood. Traitor, you damn traitor. Itachi, you are the lackey of Konoha's top management. You're so disappointing, Itachi. Including Uchiha Izumi, all the Uchiha tribesmen who died tragically showed their ferocious faces and kept accusing Uchiha Itachi. Haha, stupid Uchiha Itachi actually believed in me so easily and solved the Uchiha clan for me. Ha ha ha, these Sharingan are mine. The scene changes and Danzo stares at the entire wall of Sharingan with a crazy smile. Without the threat of Uchiha, Konoha village will continue to maintain peace. Itachi, you did a good job. Sarutobi Hiruzen held his pipe in his mouth and said proudly. Scenes after scenes kept flashing through Uchiha Itachi's mind. In reality, Uchiha Itachi knelt down on one knee and covered his head in pain. Sasuke, don't even think about your illusions, shaking me. Uchiha Itachi gasped. Really, but looking at you like this, you seem to be quite stimulated. Sasuke drew his Kusanagi sword and said slowly. Seeing Uchiha Itachi's appearance, Sasuke was pleasantly surprised. Sure enough, with my current mental power and the eye power given to Sharingan by my pure blood, I can cover Tsukuyomi with illusions. In this illusion showdown, Sasuke was victorious. In a secret stronghold, Uchiha Itachi stood up with difficulty. He did not expect that the illusion given by Mangekyo Sharingan, Tsukuyomi, would be easily broken by Sasuke. Even, Sasuke cast a stronger illusion, causing him mental trauma. Unknowingly, have you grown to this point? Uchiha Itachi muttered. Sasuke's talent is indeed beyond his imagination. He thought that it would take several years for Sasuke to compete with him. Uchiha Itachi leaned over and several shurikens appeared in his hand. Then, with a flick of his hand, he flew towards Sasuke. Interesting, how about competing in shuriken skills? Sasuke raised the corner of his mouth, waved his hand as well, and the shuriken hidden in the wrist guard scroll flew out. Clang clang clang. The sound of collision keeps ringing. A large number of shurikens collided in midair, causing sparks to fly. Sasuke can actually keep up with my shuriken. Uchiha Itachi was slightly surprised. But the next second, Sasuke's arms expanded violently, revealing those terrifying muscles. The shurikens he throws are incredibly fast. The Sasuke shuriken contains terrifying power, and when it rubs against the air, it resembles a spark and flies towards Uchiha Itachi. Itachi was shocked and was about to use his shuriken to deflect Sasuke's attack. But at the moment of contact, the shuriken he threw actually split into two and was cut directly. What? Itachi was inexplicably horrified. The shuriken thrown by Sasuke can cut iron like clay. The power is incredible. At the critical moment, Uchiha Itachi turned his head away to avoid the fatal blow. Laugh. The shuriken flew through the air, and the surrounding air was like a sharp blade, slicing his face directly. Blood flowed down Itachi's cheek and dripped to the ground. What's wrong, Itachi? Aren't you famous in Konoha for your extremely powerful shuriken skills? Is this how good your shuriken is? The corners of Sasuke's mouth raised in a smile. Immediately afterwards, he threw out a few shurikens again. Uchiha Itachi Sharingan turned, locked the trajectory of the shuriken, and was about to dodge the attack. The shuriken was in the air, and in a strange arc, it instantly hit Itachi's thigh. How is it possible? I have obviously escaped. Cold sweat broke out on Uchiha Itachi's forehead. By the way, I almost forgot to tell you that my shuriken can turn. Sasuke smiled slightly. His shuriken technique is useless even if he can see through the trajectory. With his spiritual power, he can change the trajectory of the shuriken by injecting it into it. It's hard to guard against. Uchiha Itachi formed a seal with his hands and was about to activate his ninjutsu. Itachi, go to hell. Suddenly, Sasuke's arm expanded, and the shuriken he fired seemed to turn into a fireball, shooting at Uchiha Itachi's head in a weird arc. Once hit, Sasuke's terrifying power of shooting shurikens can directly kill him. The moment of life and death. A fiery red chakra appeared in front of Uchiha Itachi, blocking Sasuke's attack. Clang clang clang. Sasuke's shuriken was directly deflected away. Huh, that's right, that's Susanoo's power. Sasuke's eyes narrowed slightly. With Uchiha Itachi's current eyesight and body, there was no way he could avoid his shuriken. You can only block the attack with Susanoo. Fire style, Great Fireball. At this moment, Uchiha Itachi formed a seal with his hands and sprayed a huge fireball from his mouth. Boom! The empty secret room was exploded by a fireball. Sasuke and the two followed the exit and arrived at the roof of the circular stronghold. All around, a red flame barrier was burning, blocking the outside world's sight. Sasuke's body was wrapped in a red chakra coat, blocking the great fireball's attack. What? It's actually the power of a tailed beast. Uchiha Itachi's pupils shrank and he was shocked again. Sasuke is clearly not a Jinchuriki, but he actually possesses the tailed beast chakra. How on earth is it done? He couldn't figure it out at all. Itachi, don't be too surprised. I've only shown a little bit of my strength. Sasuke had a contemptuous smile on his face. The real great fireball should be like this. He quickly formed a seal, and the chakra condensed in his chest and spurted out. An extremely hot giant fireball, more than twice the size of the previous one, crushed towards Uchiha Itachi. Even before the terrifying temperature approached, Itachi's clothes gradually curled and zoomed. This is fire-style ninjutsu incorporating the power of the sun. Moreover, with Sasuke's extremely pure and huge chakra now, this great fireball can literally block out the sky and the sun, and its power is astonishing. How is it possible? Sasuke's chakra actually. Uchiha Itachi couldn't believe it. Terrible. He had no idea of competing against this level of great fireball. Uchiha Itachi's right eye suddenly opened and blood overflowed. Instantly activated Amaterasu. Strange black flames appeared in the center of the giant great fireball and quickly began to burn. Soon, Sasuke's giant great fireball was suddenly burned up by Amaterasu. The power of the black flames continued to burn towards Sasuke, completely surrounding him in an instant. This scorching temperature is worthy of fire-style nature transformation's ultimate Amaterasu. Sasuke quickly put on a thick chakra coat, blocking out the black flames. Soon, Uchiha Itachi couldn't bear the pain and closed his right eye. Sasuke's tailed beast chakra coat fell off, but it remained intact. The black flame that is said to never go out. It's a pity that it can't burn anyone. Sasuke raised the corners of his mouth and said with a smile. Who? Uchiha Itachi knelt on one knee, panting heavily. Tsukuyomi and Amaterasu, the two powerful eye techniques that Mangekyo obtained after opening his eyes, were actually broken by Sasuke. HMPH, Itachi, I told you a long time ago, my eyes have already seen your death. Uchiha Itachi remained silent. Sasuke's strength is terrifying. He vaguely understood in his heart that he might not be Sasuke's opponent. Sasuke, you have indeed become stronger, but Mangekyo Sharingan's abilities are more than that. You, just give me your eyes obediently. Uchiha Itachi sneered. Immediately afterwards, a huge fiery red chakra quickly spewed out with him as the center. See, Sasuke, this is the ultimate power that can only be unlocked after opening the Mangekyo Sharingan, Susanoo. As Uchiha Itachi finished speaking, the fiery red chakra enveloped his whole body and then quickly changed into the shape of a skull. Then, a large amount of chakra gathered on the skeleton, and a large number of meridians and flesh grew. Transformed into a flame giant with half a body. Finally, it appears. Is this Susanoo? Sasuke's eyes flashed with fighting intent. What about the ultimate ninjutsu, which is known as a combination of offense and defense? He is not afraid at all. Uchiha Itachi's fiery red Susanoo, 8-plate Magatama appears on the hand. Go! Chakra Magatama spins and slams towards Sasuke. In Sasuke's body, the three avenue palaces opened simultaneously, and the power of the terrifying stars erupted from his body. Call out. It was like an afterimage passing by. Sasuke was so fast that he dodged Susanoo's attack in an instant. At the same time, he suddenly flashed behind Itachi. The muscles in Sasuke's arms suddenly bulged, and the terrifying power filled his body. Then punch out. Boom. It was like a thunder exploded from the ground. Susanoo's back was blasted with a hole. The skeletal muscles formed by the chakra were broken open, and Susanoo's huge body was blown away. Uchiha Itachi landed lightly on the ground, and Rizal looked at Sasuke in surprise. Could this be the power of the physical body? How is it possible? Sasuke's punch just now was nothing fancy, it almost penetrated Susan's back. Uchiha Itachi could clearly feel that Sasuke did not use any ninjutsu. It was made purely by the power of the physical body. Susanoo's defense is so strong. How could someone physically blast it away? This is simply unbelievable. Sasuke, what happened to him? Uchiha Itachi stared at Sasuke, his current strength even made Itachi unable to see through it. Terrible illusions, the power of tailed beasts, and incredible physical strength and shuriken techniques. Sasuke, you really outdid me. Uchiha Itachi said silently in his heart. In this case, I will not show mercy in this battle. Uchiha Itachi let out a low roar, and Susanoo transformed again. The flaming Wu-Tengu armor was shrouded, and weapons were revealed on his hands. The left hand holds the Yata mirror, and the right hand holds the Ten-Fist sword, which can be said to be both offensive and defensive. This is Itachi's Susanoo's strongest form. In this state, Visuzo Zuppei consumes a large amount of chakra. Itachi originally thought about fighting Sasuke in his second form. But Sasuke's strength has repeatedly exceeded imagination, and he has been forced into a desperate situation. Two god-tier weapons, one offensive and one defensive. Itachi, your Susanoo is indeed very strong, but it's time for me to show my true strength. As Sasuke finished speaking, dazzling golden lines suddenly erupted from his body. The natural energy free from heaven and earth was quickly swallowed and absorbed by Sasuke. Looking at the extremely majestic Sasuke covered with golden secret patterns, Uchiha Itachi couldn't help but tremble in his heart. At this moment, Sasuke seems to represent the power of heaven and earth. Noble yet terrible, sage art, Chidori Ryu. Sasuke waved his hand, and the raging golden thunder and lightning, like a big net, hit Uchiha Itachi. Rumble. This circular stronghold quickly began to collapse under Sasuke's attack. The fiery red Susanoo held up the Yata mirror and blocked Sasuke's attack. Immediately afterwards, Uchiha Itachi stabbed out with his sword. The flaming sword stabbed Sasuke instantly. However, with the blessing of Daogong, Sasuke's speed is incredibly fast. It just disappeared in a flash. Then appeared directly behind Susanoo. Sage art, the dragon dies. A huge red gold fire dragon spewed out from Sasuke's mouth and blasted towards Uchiha Itachi. Boom. However, the fire dragon hit the Yata mirror and was shot directly into the sky. What a strong defense. It's worthy of the Yata mirror, which claims to be able to block all attacks. Then try to follow my move. Sage art, Tamaya blade. Sasuke raised his hand fiercely, and a huge golden chakra light blade quickly formed. Then he slashed down hard. Yata mirror and Chidori light blade collide head-on. Thanks for watching, please like and subscribe.